of the week. Obviously, we've got the Roman Reigns storyline that's going to rumble along. We've got the fallout from WrestleMania Backlash. We know that Roman is going to be addressing Jimmy Uso tonight. We know that because he did already speak to him in a video that was released online, and he said that he didn't want him to text him, he didn't want him to WhatsApp him, he didn't want him to get in touch with him through family or friends or anything like this. He said, we'll deal with it on my show on Friday, because of course Jimmy Uso said that he didn't think that Roman could beat Cesaro. Roman beat Cesaro, and it looks like Cesaro's going off in a feud with Seth Rollins now. So, you would have to say it's looking pretty good for Roman and Jimmy, but who knows? There's an edge in the shadows that could always come back. And obviously we've had announcements as well about the tour. WWE are going on tour, so there's a very good chance that there could be some big surprises on the horizon, but I'm not sure we're going to be seeing those until July. So I think what this does mean is that SummerSlam is going to be quite a big show. We know that crowds are going to be back for Money in the Bank. They won't be there for Hell in a Cell, but they will be back for Money in the Bank. And SummerSlam is when I would expect to get some big names. We might get some people come back at Money in the Bank, and then they have a proper match at SummerSlam. I'm thinking Cena, I'm thinking Brock, I'm thinking those kinds of names that, might make an appearance at Money in the Bank and then have a match scheduled for SummerSlam. So we're starting to get a better idea now of what the future's going to hold. If you did miss that news, it was announced earlier, WWE are doing a 25-city tour. So they're going around to 25 cities. We don't know what cities they are yet, but we know that Raw, SmackDown, Money in the Bank, all of these shows are going to be on that tour. We're going to have crowds back, and we're just waiting to find out where they're going, what places they're actually going to. Adam Pearce did go onto Twitter and say, where would you like us to go? And obviously there's a lot of people saying lots of random places that they absolutely won't go. I mean, I would imagine these 25 cities are going to be in Florida and they're going to be in Texas. Those two states in particular seem to be quite open for business. I'm not sure about the other states kind of around the South. I wouldn't imagine LA. I wouldn't really imagine New York. I could be wrong. I don't really know where we are with the vaccine and everything in America, but it does seem to be Florida. It does seem to be Texas where things are kind of circulating and where the activity is at the moment. Loads of stuff to go through. There's, we might as well just quickly touch on tonight because there's not loads previewed for tonight, but there's quite a bit of news. So, Apollo, Big E, Sammy, Kevin Owens, Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. We've got that coming up tonight. Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso we spoke about. Seth Rollins and Cesaro. Obviously, that's how the pay-per-view ended. So, looks like we're going to get something between those guys. And there was a little bit of controversy at the end of Bianca Belair and Bayley. So, I would imagine they're going to build on that controversy. And, we'll probably get something between Bianca and Bayley tonight. I don't think Bianca and Bayley is finished at this stage. I think the way they ended it with like the hair being involved and that kind of roll-up pin and Bayley being very vocal after that Bianca had cheated, I kind of feel like we're going to have more coming from that feud as well. There's one bit of news I really want to get to, but I do want to throw over to the chat. Harley said, I'm so happy that fans are coming back. SmackDown before Money in the Bank, at Money in the Bank, Raw after Money in the Bank means everyone will acknowledge our tribal chief and end all be head of the table Roman Reigns. They released Velveteen Dream. They did. We did touch on this. Yes. Did we touch on it really during the Wrestling Escape Pod? I don't think we did, actually. But, it was kind of... There was news that he'd been backstage at Raw At no point did I think that meant he was getting called up. I thought that it meant that he was having a meeting, and it kind of felt like it was probably going to be one way or the other. So it was either going to be a meeting to say, this is what we're going to do going forward. This is how we see your character going forward. This is, how we want it to play out. Or it was going to be goodbye. And I didn't really think it was going to be goodbye, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, because why would they call him to Raw to say goodbye? That didn't really make any sense to me. Like, if you were going to part ways, just do it at the Performance Center. Just call him into the office. Triple H is there. Bring the HR guy down and done. I mean, I didn't really get why he was at Raw, so it kind of felt like a meeting with Vince to plan next steps. So I never said that because I was waiting to see how it was going to play out, but to me it felt more like he was staying, and boom, out the blue he's gone. So it seems like it was goodbye. So very strange that they brought him into Raw for that. I can't get my head around it, to be honest, as to why they did that, because Triple H is at NXT all the time, and obviously Shawn Michaels is down there. I mean, maybe they didn't want Shawn doing it. Perhaps they wanted Triple H being the person to do it, but Triple H is there all the time. So I really don't get why Velveteen Dream was backstage at Raw. Either way, it's parted ways. He's gone now. And it does bring me on to the bit of news that I really wanted to talk about. Rob Schamberger. I think that's how you say his name. Rob Schamberger. He is the guy. You might remember in Elite figures, they used to do standees and it had artwork and you'd put the figure in front of the artwork, right? He did that artwork. And if you have a look on like the WWE auction site, some of you might not know about this. There's a WWE auction site. If you type in WWE auction, right, it's a little hidden. It's not really shouted about all that much. But there's an auction site, like an eBay, for WWE signed items that never really get spoken about. A lot of it is his artwork that's signed by the superstar. So they do like steel chairs that have been signed, championship belts that are signed, pop vinyls that are signed, artwork that's signed, ring-worn shirts that they then sign. There's all this kind of really great stuff on this WWE auction website. The only thing I would say is, obviously, it goes for quite a bit of money. So don't go thinking you're going to be picking stuff up for dirt cheap over there. It does go for a fair bit of money, but it's really cool stuff. And a lot of the stuff on there is Rob Schamberger's signed artwork. So he does a lot of the official art for WWE. He has come out and said, right? He said Velveteen Dream might be the single most unprofessional person in the business. He has come out. This guy does not come out and say anything. I've never heard him say anything, right? But he has come out and laid into the Velveteen Dream for no reason. Like, it's not as if, like, Velveteen Dream has said something bad about him on Twitter and he's responding or anything like this. Just completely out of nowhere. About 20-odd hours ago, he sends a tweet out and he said, literally that, Velveteen Dream might just be the single most unprofessional person in the business. And that to me is big, because this is a guy that sort of known. I've heard of Rob. I know what he does. He seems like a really nice guy. Keeps himself to himself. I have never heard him say anything bad about anyone. It'd be a little bit like when Pat Patterson was alive. Pat Patterson coming out and saying, like, what he does. That, he's a really nice guy and everything. Him coming out and saying something bad about someone would be quite amazing. So, yeah, for him to say that, you do all of a sudden go, what was Velveteen Dream doing behind this? Like, how does he get that impression of the Velveteen Dream? One of the most unprofessional people in the business. I hope he gets the help he needs or something along those lines. So, obviously, we don't know if the allegations against the Dream are true. So, I'm not really going to touch on those. I mean, there was big allegations made, and we were told they were investigated by Triple H, by WWE, and they could have been, but maybe they just weren't investigated thoroughly enough, because there was still someone saying that they hadn't been spoken to. So, obviously then, they tried to keep him on TV. They've pulled him eventually off TV because, he was trending all the time on Twitter, fire Velveteen Dream. So they've pulled him eventually. He's been off TV, I think, since, Christmas time. And, yeah, out the blue now, he's gone. So there's clearly been a lot going on behind the scenes. Don't actually know what that is. There's been a lot of questions about where is the Velveteen Dream. But clearly something's happened. It's either that if he's been found guilty of this stuff, or they just don't like what they're finding, or there's too much damage done. I don't know what the truth is. So I can't really sit here and, say he deserves, what he gets, or this kind of stuff, because I don't even know what he's done. I don't even know what he's guilty of. I don't even know if he is guilty. So I can't really say any of that. But I can comment on the fact that Rob is calling him one of the most unprofessional people. And I can comment on the fact that whatever's happened has resulted in him losing his job. And this was one of the most promising up-and-coming superstars. So it is a shock, man. It is a shock that this has happened. Personally, I want more information. I really do want to know what's happened here. I think we all just want the truth. Do you know what I mean? I think we all just want the truth. Imagine if this guy is innocent. Just imagine if this guy is innocent. Imagine if he actually did nothing wrong. Because he's claiming that he didn't. He's saying that these images of him that are doing the rounds were actually sent to an ex-partner. And, they've somehow fallen into the wrong hands. What if that's true? I mean, just what if that's true? So, I don't know how to feel about him. Genuinely don't know. But all I know is that he's gone. And apparently he wasn't a great guy anyway, according to Rob. So I'm excited for SmackDown, says Taboy. Daniel said, I just watched the North Korea Dark Side of the Ring. The whole idea was absolutely insane. Muhammad Ali being there with them and Flair kissing the tarmac when they landed back in pure relief. I've not seen that episode yet, but it's such a... I can't wait to see it. I've said before that is, since this channel first started, a video that I have been desperate to make. It always blows my mind that they went to North Korea and they did 2 nights. There was WCW New Japan. They played in front 140 odd thousand both nights, 120 one night, 140 the next night. Biggest wrestling crowd, live wrestling crowds ever. And it was it's just never spoke about. It's just, it all happened in this other world in a way. So, and Muhammad Ali was there, and the main event was Ric Flair versus Antonio Inoki, and it's all it's amazing. It's amazing. Some of the stories, was it Scott Norton, I think, was in a hotel room and he called up his wife and he could actually hear someone else breathing on the phone, and his phone, he was being listened to. And I think he might have criticised them, and he ended up a knock on his door and they dragged him out his hotel room. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. So if you've not seen that Dark Side of the Ring, I haven't either, I'm going to say check it out because the story's incredible. The only reason I never made the video was because there's already one on YouTube that's just way better than what I could have done. It's an animated one from a few years ago, and it's brilliant. So you can already find on YouTube loads to do with Collision in Korea, it was called. But yeah, there's an animated video online that is beautiful. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, that's me not making that video anymore. Gaming in Real Time said it is going to be exciting for fans to come back. I agree, birds. I agree. Saw someone mention Mia Yim there. Brad says, yes, Scott Norton's experience was wild. Have you watched Army of the Dead? No. Not this. It's not out yet, is it? This new thing. I don't even know where it is, actually. Is it Netflix or something? Or is it cinema? I genuinely don't know. I I saw the word Mia Yim, and I can only imagine that the comment would have been, I wonder if we see Mia Yim tonight, or something along those lines. For those of you that don't know, Mia Yim was meant to debut, sort of, a couple of weeks ago on her own. Obviously, she's out of Retribution now. Some of you might not know her as Mia Yim. She was Reckoning in Retribution, but it's Mia Yim. It's Mia Yim from NXT. And yeah, I kind of feel like they bumped it from that throwback show. I think they probably had the next few weeks planned as we were building towards WrestleMania Backlash. And now we find ourselves, you know, past that, and so she could debut. So I think there's a good chance that, yeah, I think there's a good chance we will see Mia Yim tonight. And apparently, she's going to be going straight into a feud with Carmella. So that's what we're looking at there. Harley said, Days, interestingly, Money in the Bank has got the lowest capacity out of the 3 shows. Cool. Harry Richards said, Days, I've heard rumours that Edge will appear on SmackDown tonight and will face Roman at Money in the Bank, as WWE want fans back so that Edge can get a brilliant reception. What are your thoughts? I've heard rumours Edge appears tonight to face Roman at Money in the Bank. I think him being, well, we've got Hell in a Cell first, so I suppose he could come back tonight, but I don't know, is he going to be just kind of in the shadows whilst we deal with the Jimmy Uso thing for Hell in a Cell? I don't know. I personally would keep him away. I wouldn't bring him back tonight. I mean, it makes total sense to do that match for Money in the Bank because, yeah, Edge Roman is the match I think we all wanted for WrestleMania, and then they chucked Daniel Bryan in. And the match actually turned out to be great, but I would still rather have had just Roman versus Edge. And maybe we get that at Money in the Bank, yes. But I don't know, personally, that I would bring Edge back tonight. I'm quite focused on, you know, what's happening with Jimmy. Is Jimmy going to fall in line? Is he not falling in line? Like, how's this going to go? Are we getting the Usos back together again? Or how does this play out? Army of Dead came out today on Netflix. Are you interested in it? Yeah, I'd probably give it a watch. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the older films, and I'm massively into horror. I mean, not so much the past few years, if I'm being honest. Like, since we started streaming all the time, I just don't really have time to watch films and stuff like this. But I do like horror. I mean, a lot of the classic horror stuff. And I watched a lot of, like, modern horror as well. Things like It Follows from a few years ago. And Get Out, of course. So, you know, yeah, I'm trying to keep up with a few things. But, yeah, if it's on Netflix, sure, why not? I've got Netflix. The only thing I need is time. Days, I'm going to middle school. Well, the best of luck to you, my friend, Labria. Hope it goes well. Daniel said, when Eric Bischoff got into a taxi off the flight, he was told, you are the 7th American to ever be in North Korea, and the other 6 were shot dead. What? Oh, wow. Wow. Imagine that. Imagine that greeting. That is wild, bud. That is wild. Days, Roman versus Rock is better than just a WrestleMania match. It should be a main event of Fastlane. David Robert Wood said that Days, I hear they want Uso versus Mysterios for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Apparently they're looking into that. Austin said, since you didn't wear that hat today, you have to wear it for NXT. Yeah, I'll be tempted to wear it for NXT. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Big thank you to everyone that watched that video earlier. That box arrived the other day, and it's just one of them things. It's like, oh, I need to get this sorted. And then I had an absolute nightmare. I mean, I cannot even begin to tell you how much of a nightmare I had making that video. Because it should be easy, because I did it here, and we stream here, and so everything should be great. Trust me, if it could go wrong, it went wrong. It was an absolute nightmare. So it was just like I filmed it on my laptop and then my laptop wouldn't edit it properly. It kept crashing. So then I had to try and figure a way of putting it over to the PC. But like I didn't have the software I needed. So I had to download it all on my PC. And then like I was having to like set it all up again. And all for like an 8-minute video. And I was just like, this just should not be this hard. So yeah, it was a nightmare. So hopefully if you did watch it, you enjoyed it. It's just meant to be like fun, really. I tried to make it as fun as I could. Dylan said, Days, would you like to see a Volta match with Tyler Bate? Also, it's good that Bate won the Heritage Cup. I enjoyed your video. Thank you. Would I like to see him against Tyler? Sure. They've faced each other before and it was great. So it would be great again. In fact, great doesn't even do that match justice. It's a bona fide, classic of recent times. Like, genuinely, it'd probably be in my top 20 of the past 5 years. Tyler Bate and Volta. It was just disgustingly good. So I really do. I mean, I just really rate Volta. I mean, he just keeps having great match after great match after great match. So I would love to see them face each other. I don't want Tyler to be the one, though. He could be. I mean, you keep forgetting how young he is. Do you know what I mean? I keep thinking, they should use it to build up a new star. But it's like Tyler Bate's only 22 or 23 or something like this. It's like, if Tyler Bate is the one that beats Volta, he's still only 23. So I ain't going to complain if Tyler Bate's going to be the one. But I think I would just rather it be Dragunov. I think Dragunov just had that incredible match at the end of 2020 that everyone was buzzing about. And he came up short, and I feel for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, he got battered in that match. He got battered. He got changed. He's a changed man. He's not the same. And I would love for him to, go away, work on what he needs to work on, come back and be the one. But I hope we get some big Volta matches before that happens. I want to see him run through the NXT roster, to be honest. I want to see Volta destroy a lot of that NXT roster. Granted, maybe not Carrion. Maybe you want to keep Carrion looking good. But, he's beaten Tommaso. I think he should beat, Johnny Gargano. He's already beat Pete Dunne. But any Balor, he should beat Balor. He should literally run through pretty much everyone other than Karrion Kross. And then maybe then he loses to Dragunov. Ideally, he would have a match with someone on the main roster as well. But that's not looking very likely, is it? So I don't see Volta losing any time soon, says Taboy. I hope not. Edward Brown, shout out to you. Didn't Tyler transform himself into Taylor Bates? I don't think so. I must be honest, I'm not watching NXT UK all that much. No, I'm not really sure why. I think it's because I tend to sleep when it's on. Because I think it airs at about 8 o'clock, which is sort of 8 o'clock in the morning for me. So, yes, you could argue that I should be up at that time, but I'm not. So, if I was going to watch it, I'd watch it on catch-up, and I just never get around to doing it. I think that's the problem. If I don't watch these shows, doing them live with you guys, it's a really good chance I'm just not going to get a chance to go back and watch them. So if I do miss one, it's kind of, it's missed. It's gone. We move on. Do you know what I mean? Life's for moving forward. We don't tend to go back. Apart from our retro watch-alongs where we absolutely go back. Do you think when fans come back, Raw will be better? Asks Heel Santa. It's hard to see it get worse, to be honest. It's hard to see it get worse. Could it get worse? Sure. Could it consistently get worse? I don't know. I think this has been consistently bad. Under what we would expect, below our expectations. That's what I was looking for. So could a one-off episode be worse than what we're getting? Sure, but I can't see it being week after week after week after week of it being, as bad as what it's been. So I think just the energy that a crowd would bring would massively help. I think it would just naturally boost. Because you've got to think, like, I understand if you're a performer, you go out there and you've got cameras and you're thinking to yourself, like, you know, right, let's do this. People are watching at home. Yeah, I mean, you know that what the ratings are. You know 1.7 million are watching or whatever. But I got to tell you, it's very different talking to a camera than it is talking to live people. Like, if you walk out and you've got that roar of you when you walk out, if you're a babyface, of course. Obviously, King Corbin's never experienced that roar. But that roar of, like, you know, cheers and approval and joy and just enthusiasm, that's gonna do something to you, man. That's gonna get the old adrenaline pumping, isn't it? That just walking out and having a camera there just ain't gonna cut. So I kind of feel like not only will the crowd bring an energy, but they would definitely pick up a lot of superstars that I think have kind of fallen into a bit of a groove, if I'm being honest. It's one of those where if you sit down and go, wow, can you name, how many great matches from Raw can you name this year? It's like, honestly, I've seen every episode and I would struggle. I'm sure there's been some, but it's not as if I'm sitting here going, well, we had this. It just hasn't been that way, has it? So, yeah, I think fans would definitely give it a bit of a... John says, don't disrespect Corbin. So weird that we've got some Corbin stands in the chat. I don't really get that. I have no idea why we're the only community in all of the internet that has Corbin stands. Makes no sense to me. Matthew Lopez, shout out to you, buddy. Really appreciate the support. A couple of super chats pinging through. I didn't miss them. Shout out to you. Days, I'm back home. I was in hospital. My left elbow was swelled. I'm sorry to hear that, Robert. Pleased that you're feeling better. McLean said, I'm excited for Thursday's WEP. Yeah, if you've not been watching the Wrestling Escape Pod, it's kind of the little podcast that we do. And we don't really talk about wrestling. Straight up, I'm just going to be honest. We do try to. I mean, that kind of in many ways is the objective. We desperately try to talk about wrestling, but we literally go wherever the conversation goes. It's an hour every Thursday. It's got its own YouTube page. And, man, I've got to tell you, some of the most recent episodes have had me in stitches. It's been so much fun. And next week is going to be hilarious. So yeah, I'm right with you, dude. I can't wait for next week as well. Taboy said, after WWE is off tour, does that mean the Thunderdome will be back? Well, I would imagine the hope is that they don't come off tour. I would guess would be the hope. If they're going to do 25 cities, that's going to be a good couple of months, Could be a month if they're running. I don't quite know how it's working. Like, I don't know if they're doing a show each day with a couple of days rest, if they're looking to just do a couple of shows a week, if they're going to run Raw and SmackDown at the same time, and do house shows at the same time, and then, of course, obviously do a TV taping when it's Raw and do the TV taping when SmackDown. Because if they're going to do that, they could burn through those 25 cities quite quick. So I don't think it'd be any longer than a couple of months. But I can't quite tell it. Is it a month? Half a month? Because you could do it in half a month. If you're running shows at the same time, if you're doing Raw and SmackDown on the same night and just going from city to city to city, which I don't think they would do, then you could do it in like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. Or you could do it in 8 weeks. So I can't quite tell. It's hard to know how long it's running for. But my guess would be that once fans are back, they're really not going to want to take them away again. It'll be interesting to see. But no word yet. We still haven't got full word on this whole tour. Bozzy TV says, I don't think Roman can be beat by anyone but The Rock, says Bozzy TV. Shout out to you, bud. I personally would think that The Rock would lose that. just because Roman is around right now, and Roman is, I mean, carrying SmackDown in a way. He is SmackDown in a way. So to have him lose to Rock, unless you're going to do a rematch, unless you're going to do a Rock Cena situation where Rock wins the first one, Roman wins the second, like Cena did, then I've got to think Roman wins that match. I've got to think Roman wins that match. But as you said, could be a Rock Cena WrestleMania 28-29 situation where they both get a win each. So yeah, I'll be really hoping that we do get that at some point. That is, I can't think of a bigger match you could make other than maybe CM Punk Triple H. But to be honest, I don't even think that's bigger. I mean, who's bigger than The Rock? Everyone. If I went and spoke to my mom and said, "Have you heard of The Rock?" she would say, "Yeah." If I said, "Have you heard of CM Punk?" I don't know that she would have, to be perfectly honest. She would have heard of Triple H. I don't know if she would have heard of CM Punk. But she would have heard of Triple H. She would have heard of The Rock. Rick E245 said, "Hi, Days. How are you? I can't wait to see the Ultimate Warrior bio on Sunday." Same, man. That's going to be so wild. Yeah, we've spoke quite a bit about it over the past couple of streams. I can't think of a biography I was more looking forward to. I've said before, I love The Warrior. And I really want this to help me fall back in love with The Warrior, which is such a weird thing to say, because it's just a wrestler, and he wasn't even a nice guy, but I loved him. I can't stress this enough. I loved The Warrior. I loved The Warrior. I mean, like, if I had to choose, like, for one of them wrestling buddies, I would have wanted The Warrior. If I had to choose one figure, I would have chose The Warrior. I loved The Warrior. I'd actually forgotten how much I loved The Warrior. That's how much, like, I fell out of love with him. Now when I think about him, I just think, yeah, you know, he wasn't a great guy, couldn't really wrestle, had a decent run, but I don't really think much more about it. But when I think back to when I was a kid, I can specifically remember looking for Warrior matches on the backs of videos. I can remember loving The Warrior, so and being so excited when he came back at WrestleMania 12. Honestly, it was like, here we go, he's back, and I was so excited. And obviously, it didn't last long. But yeah, I hope it's not just an all-out hit job. I don't think it will be. His family are involved. There's no need to do an all-out hit job. They've already done it. You know, there was already the DVD that came out, so why would you want to do that again? Why would you need to? Plus, they've got the Warrior Award. Like, why are you going to paint him to be this awful person when you're giving out the Warrior Award every year at the Hall of Fame? So, I understand we've got to go through everything. No problem with that. It's the end. How they're going to build me up at the end. How they're going to make me love the Warrior again at the end of that biography. That's what I can't wait to see. Bozzy TV, shout out to you, my friend. Really kind donation. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. All of this goes, you know, straight back into the channel, and is you know, helps keep the show on the road and everything. So really appreciate it, dude. Bozzy TV, which does kind of suggest they might have their own YouTube channel. So drop them a subscribe if they do, or just drop them a subscribe if they haven't. But Bozzy TV says, who do you think will take the title from Roman? My personal opinion is Big E. I think that Big E is the man. I think he's the right person. I think he is the person that has shown that he can do comedy. He's shown that he's a lot of fun, that he's relatable, that he's relatable at all ages as well. Like, I think adults look at him and see his size and see his strength and, you know, kind of see what he has to overcome. And, like, really appreciate that, because it's unfortunately still difficult in this day and age being an African-American wrestler. I mean, if you go back through the history, there's still not tons of African-American champions. Like, it's appalling how few there have been. And you look at someone like Big E and you go, if that guy doesn't become champion, the big questions need to be asked still. So, you know, it's difficult. It's been difficult. He absolutely should. I mean, he can do promos. He's got an incredible look. He's relatable. He's funny. He's entertaining. He puts on good to great matches. I mean, the guy's got it all. The guy has got it all. So, if we're not putting the belt on him, why not? Why not? We need to ask some serious questions here. So, I hope he's the one. He deserves to be champion in the future. I think they are actually preparing him for that. He's had the Intercontinental Championship run. He dropped the title. And we're at the point now where it's like, okay, we've done the IC title run. We've established that he's a solo star now and that he's not in the New Day. What are we doing now? Like, there's no other mid-card belts for him to go for. Roman's held that title for, 9 months, something along those lines, coming up to a year at the end of the year. It came back at SummerSlam, didn't he, last year? And he got the title not too long after that. So I kind of feel like maybe do Jimmy Uso, maybe do Edge. Cesaro's had his chance. Daniel Bryan had a chance. Maybe Nakamura could have a chance on like a SmackDown episode or something. And we've then at that point, we're going with Big E. Like, at what point are we doing this? So it could be that Big E actually goes for it, doesn't win it the first time. I don't have a problem with that. He could go for it, not get it. We could look at doing like Roman Drew or Roman Rock next year. But I think ultimately the person that should beat Roman is Big E. I think they'd be really tempted if they do Drew Roman to have Drew be the one. And I'm a bit torn on that, personally. I kind of feel like Drew is sort of a made man anyway. And I understand that colliding them two together is one of the biggest things you can do. But, I don't know. Drew's just not doing it for me. I kind of like Drew, I think, got to a point where he's a main event talent now. But his promos are just so... They're a bit cringe to me, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, he comes across a bit smarmy and condescending, and I don't really find myself really rooting for him. I can't say I've ever massively found myself rooting for him. At first, I didn't think he was the right person to win the Rumble in 2020, because there hadn't been much of a build. He won, and I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. And then he won the title at WrestleMania. That was expected. And then he went and had a run with the belt. I thought it was okay. I actually thought it really hit its stride when he was facing Orton and he was facing some bigger names. I think he had a match with AJ, towards the end of 2020. He really started to get somewhere, because it's no good, facing Andrade. Yeah, your championship reign is going to be defined by the quality of names that you can beat. If you can beat big names, your championship reign goes down in history. If you beat a load of nobodies, then nobody is going to remember. So I kind of felt like his championship reign just drifted a bit, but then he faced some big names, got some big results, and I thought he was, he was getting somewhere, it was going all right. And then, it kind of falls apart a little bit. I mean, the whole Miz cashing in, Bobby's now got the belt. I don't know. I don't know if Drew just needs to move away from the title from a bit and actually have an interesting feud. I kind of feel like give him an interesting feud. He carried the belt for a while. You can say that the title reign ticked the box. He's definitely main event material, so tick. But now let's move him away from the title, give Bobby a chance to breathe, have Drew do something interesting with someone else on the sidelines, and then let's have a look. Let's have a look at it then. But I think they'd be tempted to go with either Drew with a superstar. I know people might be saying, but he's on Raw. But obviously a draft at the end of the year, or, they can easily just shunt him over to SmackDown if they want. Do a swap or something, but probably a draft at the end of the year would be the most likely. And then, we build towards Roman and Drew at WrestleMania next year. But I would hate to think that they build up Roman to give it to Drew. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. I really want Big E to benefit from it, to be honest. Kind of feels a little bit like the Undertaker streak. Who's going to be the one? Who's going to be the one? And I want it to be someone like that's really going to benefit. And I don't know that Drew's really going to benefit if it is him. So, Days. Did you see the Impact teased Daniel Bryan Slammiversary? They flashed yes in a video. Why not? Why not? It's free press, innit? I can't see that he's going there, personally. Why would you? Why would you go to Impact? That doesn't make any sense. Like, Daniel Bryan, you could go Ring of Honor, which is credible. You could go New Japan, which is exciting. You could go AEW, which is, second biggest promotion in North America right now. I don't really know what Impact brings to the table, to be honest. There might be some good people for him to face there. And I'm not saying that it's not credible. I'm just saying that it's not as credible as some of the other promotions out there. So, I don't know why you would go there, to be honest. That just seems to me like them flashing yes up so that people will talk about it. Did you hear that Edge was advertised for Money in the Bank? I didn't hear that, no. I've certainly not seen WWE advertising that, so I don't know if that's like a poster or something that's leaked, but I haven't seen that. James Chadwick said, because Impact is great. Rob TV says, Roman Reigns' story carrying WWE right now. Martin said, Days, can you get SmackDown on Peacock? No, bud. They've got a deal with Fox and obviously in the UK, BT Sport. But if you've got Peacock, I'm guessing you're in the US. So, no, Fox have got that deal. So it's got to be through Fox. The other thing I've got written down, because we've got about 18 minutes, is there's been some videos come out of WWE 2K22. And like the scans and everything that have been getting done for superstars. So I know there's a lot of people that are keeping their fingers crossed that this year's game is going to be like really a lot better than 2020, which shouldn't be hard to achieve. But they've really invested in some new technology. Apparently, I was watching some videos on it, and now they've got like They've always had like 360 scanners, but apparently this like uses 80 odd cameras, which drastically increases the number of the amount of data that they're capturing now, which means that obviously the computer images should be a lot sharper. Plus, of course, we've got PS5s now and Xbox whatevers. So it kind of means that the quality and everything should drastically increase there also. So, it's shaping up to, from a visual point of view, sound like, it's going to take a decent step forward. I didn't really feel like the trailer looked all that great, to be honest. The little teaser trailer, I kind of looked at it, just kind of felt like every other game trailer I've ever seen. There wasn't really anything, with Rey Mysterio, wasn't really anything there that made me go, what? I need this game. I'm sure I'll buy it, and I'm sure I'll never play it. But, it certainly sounds like they're, spending a bit of money on this. So, which is good to know. Good to hear. Sam says, if you take 2 years to develop a game, it better be good. How are you today? I'm good, thank you, Dro. Hope you are well. What is your favourite Mattel figure from 2020, 2021? I don't even know if this is the right answer, to be honest, but I've got a Finn Balor Ultimate Edition that I think might be the best Mattel figure ever made. And I think that might have been early 2020. It might have been 2019. I'm not too sure. But Finn, like, Ultimate Editions have just been incredible. I think they've made some awesome Ultimate Editions. There's been some, like, the Hogan, Hollywood Hogan was special. I know that Storm came out with a Hollywood Hogan that was great as well, but I never got that. I was never into those Storm ones, so the Hollywood Hogan one I thought was great also. So I think Ultimate Editions were bang on. But there was been loads of great figures. It's been too many great figures. It's hard to keep up. Days, will you do a watch along for Triple Mania? Probably not. Probably not. I am interested in the main event, but I'm not really interested in anything else. AAA isn't a promotion that I'm aware of. Well, I'm aware of it, but I don't watch it. I couldn't tell you any feuds or anything that's going on over there. I'd literally only be watching for Omega and Andrade. And I think that would have a limited appeal, to be honest. I think that, it's going to be a great match. I definitely want to watch it, but it's not one I think we would stream. Do you think Big E could win the Rumble? He absolutely could win the Rumble. Yes, absolutely. He's got to be a dark horse for it. He's got to be an outsider, someone that you could put a bit of cheeky money on. I think he's definitely going to have a big 18 months. Let's put it that way. I don't know at what point he's going to win the title. I'm sure he's going to win the title. And I think putting a time frame of the next 18 months on is fair. Next year and a half, big for Big E. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But I just don't know when they're going to pull the trigger. They're gonna. I just don't know when it's going to be. Days, do you know who Mike Bailey is? Apparently he's going to WWE. I know the name. Is he on? He's not coming from any other promotion. I think he's on the indie scene, isn't he? I definitely know that name. I think is he a veteran on the indie scene? The behind the scenes video from the 2K devs should be longer. They should explain what's going on. I learnt more from a Smack Talks video than the 2K devs. I'm going to play GT5 and watch Smackdown. Have fun. Harley said, Days, whilst mentioning challengers left for Roman before Big E, you forgot Seth. And also Drew had Seth as a big challenger as well, which in my opinion was the most underrated match of last year. I didn't really forget Seth because he's not a face at the moment. He's still a heel, and they teased it. But to be honest, that's a feud they could do without the title. So it's difficult. I don't know when they're going to pull the trigger on Seth. I don't know if they're going to look to do that anytime soon, but I don't know. That's a bit too much speculation for me. Bit too much speculation. It's like, yeah, Seth's there, but he's a full-blown heel at the moment. So until he turns face, that's one that I'm not looking at. But they definitely teased it with that little moment where they were face to face. But then, how long did they tease John Cena turning heel? Do you remember? Like, I remember after WrestleMania, he came out and he was like, "What next for John Cena? Maybe I could do a little dance. Maybe I could do a little heel turn, right?" And what he did was he put his heel down and he was like, having a little dance and everything. So, of course, to people not in the know, they're like, "What's he doing this for?" But those of us that know that kind of terminology, it's like, oh, he just said heel turn. He just said heel turn. So it could be one of them. It could be that they're just pulling your plonker. They could be just pulling your plonker, my friend. Lewis, shout out to you. Walid said, Days, what's up? Do you know anything announced for SmackDown? We've got the Fatal 4-Way tonight of Apollo versus Big E versus Sammy versus Kevin. We've also got Roman addressing Jimmy, and we're sure to see Seth and Cesaro. We're sure to see Bianca and Bayley, but in all honesty, there's only that one match that's been announced for tonight. I think that Seth should come to Raw and turn face, then clash with Bobby, because Roman and Seth are just not gelling for me. I think that Seth should come to Raw, then turn face and clash with Bobby. Roman and Seth is not getting it for me. Okay. They tried to turn him heel and the fans cheer and boo him at the same time, says William. They've never tried turning Cena heel. I mean, not since he moved away from Thugonomics. I've not seen him ever turn heel. He's teased it, but I've never seen it. Do you think Jimmy could win the title and Braun would win? I don't think Jimmy would win the title. This is all storyline about family. And the one thing I don't want, and I said this before, is I don't want this to be a repeat of the Jey Uso thing. I don't want this to just be Jey Uso all over again. So, yeah. I'm into it, but I hope they tell this story slightly different to how we did the Jey Uso one. William Hensey says, Triple T, brackets, dating guru, latest date drops on Thursday, and I'm seriously on the edge of my seat. Web is on fire. Shout out to you, William. I'm glad you're enjoying the Wrestling Escape Pod. It's so funny because it couldn't be further away from what I envisaged it being. I remember starting it, and when I started that podcast, I wanted it to be what it was at first, an hour-long episode where we talk about something that happened in the past. I didn't want it to be something that was keeping up to date with recent news, because the problem is that ages after a while. So you can talk about it, but 2 weeks later, it's old, it's done, forget it. So I didn't really want that. I wanted something that you could go back to and enjoy whenever. So our early episodes was everything to do with WrestleMania, everything to do with Hell in a Cell, everything to do with masked wrestlers, the best masked wrestler, all this kind of stuff. And then as soon as we went live and we started to get feedback from people watching, obviously we just started going down conversations that were happening at the time. It all unraveled, it all fell apart, and now it's just so random. I can't even guarantee it's about wrestling anymore. So, I don't know. It's so hard to promote. It's so hard to say, guys, join us on a Thursday, Wrestling Escape Pod, where we don't talk wrestling, but we're meant to. So, I don't know. But I'm glad you enjoy it, William. Chat, shout me out. Your boy, shout out to you. Jimmy Uso could definitely win the title. Jimmy is practically the same size as Reigns, says Cypher. Harry Richard said, Days, are you going to watch the Alex Ferguson Never Give In movie? It looks brilliant. Really sad and inspirational. Yeah, I am. I am going to watch it. I'm very excited for it. But I don't know where it, again, is it Netflix, is it cinema? I don't know how you go about watching it. Kind of strikes me as one of those that will probably come out on DVD around Christmas time or something like this. I don't know if it's on Netflix or whatever, but yeah, definitely want to see that. I want Roman to beat up the Usos so bad that The Rock has to come back. That would be cool. Days, what do you think about Alexander Wolf release? Yeah, I was sad about that. I mean, like, he's not the greatest wrestler in the world, of course. He's someone that struggled with an identity. I mean, he went from being Insanity to being in Imperium. So, it's kind of a bit hard, isn't it? Like, he's struggling to find himself. But I liked him in both. I liked him in Sanity. I liked him in Imperium. I even liked him, like, starting to emerge as the second in command. You know, he would stand forward in front of Bartel and Eichner. And I kind of thought with Volta being away, they could have gone with Alexander Wolf maybe going for the North American title, or, you know, give him a belt so that Volta's got the NXT UK belt. Alexander Wolf could have a belt, and then maybe have Imperium go after the tag titles again. I kind of thought that would be interesting. So when he got kicked out, I thought that was interesting. I thought, where are we going with this? Definitely did not expect that to be the end of the road for him. So, yeah, it was interesting. Interesting how they went about and did it. And I feel sorry for him, but he's commented and said he only found out on Wednesday about it. This isn't something he knew about for very long. He literally found out Wednesday. And he said that he can't complain. He's had 6 great years and no hard feelings. He just comes across like a really nice guy. Just comes across like a really nice guy. So I feel sorry for him, to be honest. I think they could have done more with him. But then I don't know what wrestler I could say they couldn't have done more with, you know. So, just sucks when anyone loses their job, really. Gaming in Real Time says, we'll get a big return. Will we get a big return when crowds are back? Well, I mean, I can't guarantee that, but we know that Becky is going to come back at some point, and she's due to come back very soon. We know that Cena is desperate to come back. Like, it's not just the case that Cena could come back. He's actually said he really wants to come back and do something as well. I think if the timing was right, Rock would definitely come back. And, you know, I mean, I think The Rock loves wrestling. Obviously, it's in his blood. His family are all involved. And so he's never going to stray too far from the product. But I think for him to come in and just kind of give a lift to wrestling fans. You know, we've all been through a rough time. Pandemic's been horrific on everyone. We've all been locked down and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, you could argue the product's gone stale. You could really argue the product's gone stale. So I sort of think The Rock would want to come in and be that guy. I think he enjoys being the knight in shining armor, do you know what I mean? That rides in and saves the day. It's like, yeah, wrestling sucked a little bit, but I'm here now. And even if he just comes in for a one-off show, just to give it a bit of a get trending, get people talking. Do you know what I mean? Him face-to-face with Roman doesn't lead to anything. Well, ultimately it could, but do you know what I mean? Even if he doesn't come back and do a match, I kind of feel I could see him coming in for a show. I could see him coming in, and if he's done it loads of times. I remember him coming back for a one-off appearance where he was in the ring with Rusev, and that was really cool. It's just a one-off thing. And he was having a little back and forth with Lana and a little back and forth with Rusev and whatever. And it's really great. So, yeah, I think Becky, I think Cena, I think Rock, obviously Brock if they stump up the money, but I can't say I've heard anything about that. So, yeah, I'm not sure where we are with Brock. But, yeah, I think there's a good chance we'll get something. But not only that, I also think that, like, just the storyline should get a lot sharper. Do you know what I mean? Just everything, I think, will just step up. I kind of feel like wrestling, largely, has been in hibernation. I really feel that way. I think wrestling's just been sleeping for a while, and we've just literally walked our way through a lot of stuff. I mean, WrestleMania season was okay, but, I mean, the build for most of the matches... Let's not forget the build for Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman and how atrocious that was. Do you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you can look at Edge Roman. You can look at the main events and go, okay, that was all right. The rest of it was a bit... You know what I mean? I don't even think the WrestleMania builds are all that great. And that's your biggest time of the year. So I kind of feel like we've been sleepwalking. So shake the cobwebs off and off we go. So fingers crossed, man. Because I want to get going. Let's get to work, baby. Let's get to work. Let's watch some stuff. Let's talk about some stuff. Let's get some reactions. Do you know what I mean? Shake the world. Let's get some excitement back in wrestling. Boom, let's go. So I'm here for it, but yeah, still waiting. Wrestle with Andy, shout out to you. Says, Days, I heard about the live events returning. Is there any word on fans coming back for Raws and Smackdowns? Apparently so, yeah. Apparently, like, once we're up and running on July 16th, Raw, Smackdown, Money in the Bank, I'm guessing SummerSlam. I can't imagine them not doing SummerSlam with a crowd. I haven't seen it get mentioned, but on the press releases, they did say Raw, Smackdowns, and Money in the Bank. But I would put SummerSlam in there as well. And honestly, I think once we're up and running, I think we've got to be at a point where... I mean, what would stop them doing those 25 cities again? What would stop them doing that? So, I mean, you could argue, well, you know, are people going to pay to go back again after they've just done 25? That's a good argument. That's fair enough. You know, maybe, you know, there's not enough fans to go back to those places again. 'Cause, you know, you might be forcing the same people to come out again. So maybe they wouldn't. But I think they could definitely go back and do Raws and Smackdowns and just keep doing, like, those on a loop. So, I don't know. We might be at the point where we're starting to really move away now from the Thunderdome. Might go back to it for a bit. Or this could be the end. Could be the end of the Thunderdome. Which I do think was a big step up. But, oh, hello, here we go. I wondered what this was then. It just started. We've got all the champions on the stage. I didn't realise the time. Proper caught me off guard. I just looked up and I had all the champions on the stage dancing like this on the entrance stage. And I was like, was that from last week? And then I saw the time. I was like, oh, it started. Proper caught me off guard, man. I thought we still had about, I swear, I thought we had about 20 minutes. I thought we had about 20 minutes to go. Oh, well. Sonya Deville is in the ring. Extra special Smackdown? What's this about? News broke. Oh. Leaving the Thunderdome in July. Going back on the road. Going back to you. All right, that's why they're jumping around looking awkward. Okay, that's weird. Them dancing around on the stage like that looks really strange, man. Okay, yes. Please help recognize the men and women. Oh. No. No. No, 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 no. Let's recognize the people that work so hard whilst we've been during this pandemic, and now they're throwing over to their current chat. I thought we were going to thank the ring crew, the camera people, like the people in catering, all the behind the scenes people. Instead, we're going to thank Dominic Mysterio. Do one. No, this is weird. What are they doing? Honestly, I thought they were going to bring... What a gesture that would have been. What a gesture that would have been. Join me in thanking everyone that made this possible. Bring out, or on the stage, or in their, WWE shirts, all the production crew, camera people, all this kind of stuff. Well done, guys. Well done. What a nice moment that would have been. But no, instead, can we thank Commander Aziz? And can we thank Dominic Mysterio? Guys, make sure you're thanking Tamina right now. Make sure you're thanking Tamina for getting us through the pandemic. Thanks, Tamina. Commander Aziz. Tamina. Dominic, the unsung heroes. The unsung heroes. Oh, this company. How do you even get that wrong? It's impossible. All right, we've got Apollo. We got Apollo cutting some promo about the Fatal 4-Way tonight. And Sonya goes, thank you for that. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Apollo. She looks great in a white suit, doesn't she? There's Bianca. All she does is dance. Just dance. That's 90% of her job. When you walk out, dance. When you come down to the ring, dance. When you're on the entrance stage, dance. When you stand in there, dance. When you're in the ring, dance. Just dance. Oh, and here comes Roman. I'll thank him. I'll thank him. He can have my thanks. Dun 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 dun. Yes, baby. So Heyman's come out. They're coming out to the old music. dun, dun, dun. Or is that now Heyman's music? Is Heyman now the one-man shield? Paul Heyman's the one-man shield? Yeah, it's not a parade of champions, is it? It's a parade of title holders, so Paul Heyman throwing some shade on the current champions. Love to see it. Yeah, I kind of feel like Bianca Belair should be treated with more respect. Paul Heyman. Did they hit the wrong button? Dun, dun. It's Paul Heyman's theme is a one-man shield. So they're really pushing the tickets here. The old theme is back. Of course they brought back the old theme just as I was getting used to the new one, says Corey K. Dun, dun. Great. Can I just say this is awful? I just want to go on record that I love SmackDown, but this is awful. Yeah, guys, give him a huge round of applause. Bayley jumps in. Why did the old theme come out with Paul? Is that's a botch? Brony said this opening is garbage. Yeah, it is true. She is. You want to thank someone? It should be Bayley. Preach. Especially you, new boy Dominic. Yeah, new boy. You overstayed your welcome here. What? Can I ask a question? Why is not a single champion running down the ramp right now and smacking her in the face? I don't understand. These are the champions. These are... But instead, they've been abused by Paul Heyman. They're being abused now by Bayley. Of course, she saves the final words for Bianca. Hayden said, the opening to this show isn't great. Nico Guy says, Bayley spitting facts. Facts everywhere. You're not a champion, you're a damn criminal. It's a great line. That's a great line. You're not a champion, you're a damn criminal. Yeah, good. You want this? Come take it. Come take it. Come take it. Bayley says it's not time. I'll get it when I feel like it. Shayna Baszler from behind. Ooh. Little something there. Oh, that's probably going to result in a 6-woman tag in it. Just so I was like, oh, they're working together. It's probably to set up to a 6-woman tag in it. We're going to get a 6-woman tag, says Scott. 6-woman tag. Need to decide. For a second then, I thought Shayna was working with Bayley. I was like, ah. Okay. Commercial break. Not a great start. I really don't get why. I honestly think it would have been fantastic to have brought out the ring crew and all of that. To say thank you to the champions that helped us during the pandemic when a lot of them are new champions is very strange. And having them jumping and dancing around looking like competition winners. Do you know what I mean? They look like fans. They look like fans that have been allowed to hold the belts and stand on the entrance stage during the show. Like they're going to go backstage and meet Vince and have their picture taken and everything. They go home with a goodie bag. So, I don't know. That looked weird to me. And then they got abused by several different people. And now we're building to a 6-woman tag. So, kind of strikes me as Friday Night Raw at the moment. But the one thing I would say is this is SmackDown. I double-checked. It is SmackDown. And so I'm sure that the quality will shoot up. Corey says, the most interesting part of that was Paul Heyman's entrance, and that says something. Nia on the show means we're at minus 100 out of 10, says Warsaw till I die. Vince must not have thought this through completely. Yeah, I mean, you could literally have said that for the past 10 years. Nia and Shayna shouldn't even be there, says Storm AJ. They're going to see Pyros again, like WrestleMania 47. Heather, shout out to you. Hope you are well. I've just popped into my mum and dad's. Her surgery was successful. That's great news. Shout out to you, Heather. Brian Schaefer, hope you are well. July 16th, live events return. That is 8 weeks away. Yeah, we're going to start every episode by just thanking people. The same champions every week. No, don't you know how worried they are that they're not going to sell the tickets? Have you not been looking at the ratings? Like, of course they're starting now. They probably wish they'd have started ages ago. Like, this isn't the UFC where they can announce they're doing a show and sell out in 5 minutes. It's more like 5 months for WWE these days. I mean, let's not forget when they did have a crowd. Like, we all saw them images where, like, the hard camera side pretty much has no one sitting there. Like, they have to push everyone round the other sides to make it look like a full arena. So they probably are concerned because you've got declining ratings. You've got a lot of people that have been struggling financially. So, you know, is money out there for people to go to watch wrestling, family event, take the kids, all this kind of stuff? I mean, sure, of course it is, but it wasn't great before the pandemic. You can't tell me it's going to be better now. So, yeah, there's probably a bit of concern, in truth, which is why they're probably starting around now. Joaquin Uribe, shout out to you, buddy. Appreciate the support. And, oh, look at this guy. Wow. It's a 6-woman tag. Oh, I never saw that coming. That's wild. Right. Bianca, Natalia, and Tamina versus Nia, Bailey, and Shayna. I understand that I'm complaining quite a bit. I do understand that, and I don't necessarily mean to. But the one thing I would say is this is SmackDown, and I do hold SmackDown to a higher standard. I have to, because I can't really hold Raw to any kind of standard right now. So I have to hold SmackDown to a higher standard, and it normally operates at a higher standard. So first 15 minutes for me, not great. That's not the end of the world. Yeah, let's be clear. I'm not making out like this is, you know, one of the worst things that's facing mankind right now, but I'm just saying. We've had better. This is why you start the show with Roman Reigns, right? That is why you play his music. He takes 1,000,000 years to get down to the ring. He says a load of stuff that doesn't really do all that much, but, you know, he's cool. So you go, yeah. And you feel satisfied. That's how you start SmackDown. It's so simple. How dare they try something different? How dare they? I guess this means Raw stars Nia and Shayna come onto SmackDown since they're still going to feud with the challengers, Nia and Shayna on SmackDown. 6-woman tag and no damn Riot Squad. WTF, I want Riot Squad. Listen, bud, I mean, they've just have never been booked that well, the Riot Squad. There has to come a point where you just have to accept. You just have to accept it. I don't know when their time's coming, or even if their time's coming. I genuinely don't know. But they've just never been used that way. Maybe they had a little run when Sarah Logan was around, but since Ruby and Liv got back together, it's been nothing, has it? Who knows? Maybe they'll have something for them once, you know, we're definitely past this feud. This seemingly never-ending feud. Bayley isn't the only thing that I enjoy, is the only thing I enjoy about SmackDown Women's Division, says Philip. John says, yes, but watching Roman open the show gets boring. Now they need to dare to do something different that doesn't suck. Well, I suppose that's true. You can't keep doing Roman. Although I do like Roman, of course. But you can't keep doing that. Bianca in the corner. Shayna has moved out the way. Shayna runs at Bianca. Why did she do that? Spinebuster by Bianca. Bianca was on the second rope, waiting for Shayna. Shayna saw her and just started running towards her. It was like Bianca was a magnet and she couldn't stop herself. Bianca up top, little bit wobbly. 3 women waiting to catch her on the outside. This is awful. This match is awful. It's just spot after spot. God, please, just get past this. I kind of feel like once we're past this, we'll be all right. I think we'll be all right. There's enough on the show. Do you know what I mean? Like Seth and Cesaro should be quite interesting. Roman and Jimmy Uso, I think, will be quite interesting. But this right now is just not doing it for me. I'm back. My TV wasn't working. Had to bang it around. AEW booking in reverse. Instead of match and then brawl, we got brawl and then match, says James Chadwick. Spot after spot. That's what we had there. I've said before, I hate that spot. I hate that crossbody with a load of people waiting on the outside. I don't care if you're AEW, NXT, little Jimmy in his backyard, right? Trust me, if he was doing it in his backyard and he had all his friends round, I'd be shouting over the fence, "Don't do that! Looks rubbish!" I hate it. They all stand there waiting for him to come off the top. Dave, something tells me Roman will turn face right after his match with The Rock, says Inan Superior. Cypher says, looks like WWE is trying to sell wrestling gear. Oh, wait, it's a match. If Bianca hadn't taken 10 minutes for that spot. Clay Harrison says, SmackDown has a women's tag match. Who saw that coming? Hayden says, I hope Bianca's all right. Eric Defcon Prime Dorigi said, Days, I scored Elites, Black and White Sting, and Elite Red Shirt, White Face, combined $56. Very cool. Very cool. Days, so hearing what Sonya said, are they actually never going back to the Thunderdome? Maybe. She did say it's time to move away from it. So does heavily suggest that, yeah, that could be it for the Thunderdome. I mean, I must admit, as we were saying before, I think if you are going to leave it, you wouldn't be looking to go back to it, because it would be a step backwards. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, yes, it's so great to have fans back, and then what, a month later, you've got to go back to not having them. Like, I really think if you were going to get going, you really would want to get going with fans permanently back. So, but there might be the odd little bit where, you know, it's just unavoidable. I'm surprised you didn't do research on SNLVW. I googled it and I couldn't find anything on it, so that was as far as my research went. And who did look at it? Someone looked at it. Can't remember. Someone looked at it. I don't think we found out what it was, to be honest. So I think we're still none the wiser. Anna says, my big problem with WWE is the whole company is saturated with shows. We all have WWE overload. It's probably turning a lot of people off because it's too much. Do you know, I mean, that's true, innit? Could you imagine if they just had one show a week, couple of hours? You got one roster, couple of hours. You don't see everyone every week. They're on the road doing house shows. You don't quite know. You could advertise a big main event a week in advance. So it's like, right, yeah, next week we're going to have Bayley and Bianca in the main event. That's going to be awesome. And, you know, just one show, couple of hours. Be amazing, wouldn't it? Instead, they have to kill quite a bit of time. And I think that becomes more and more obvious, you know, that they are literally rinsing and repeating a lot of things just to kill time. I mean, in fairness, it must be hard. They have to do 5 hours of network well, actually, no, scrap that, 7 if you include NXT. But, you know, that's a lot of stuff to book. I appreciate they've got different booking teams and everything, but they're going to use a lot of the similar ideas. Cypher, shout out to you, buddy. Tamina going for the pin, and Bayley grabs the bottom rope. Adrian said, WWE is the only North American league not running fans. NHL, NBL, MLB, NBA, even AEW are all airing with fans. WWE is quite behind on this. I know UFC have had fans back for a bit, but I honestly didn't know that the NBA had fans back or the NHL had fans at all, actually. Step through, looking for a sharpshooter by Natalya. Oh my god, guys, this has taken 20. In fairness, the first match normally does, so I can't be too surprised, but still. 20 odd minutes here. WWE having one show would be bad, in my opinion. Plus, that would mean we would only get 1 day stream, which I don't like. No, but I think the quality of that one show would be exceptional. Because you'd basically be taking the best of what you see on Raw and SmackDown and putting it into one show. Shayna grabs Natalya. She's got her down in the middle of the ring. Natalya trying to sell this. Is someone going to make the save? No, Natalya taps. Natalya taps. Right, that's it. Natalya taps to Shayna. Wait, Days, this match has been 10, not 20. I'm just saying the whole start of the show, including the promos and everything, were 20 odd minutes in. We're nearly a quarter of the way through the show. Heels win. This match will take us to 30 minutes with the ad break. And what a boring opening 30 minutes that will be, says Philip. Dominic says, people that hate WWE and still watch the program should go see a doctor. That's probably true. I do have a WWE addiction that needs dealing with because it's not being satisfied at the moment. Big E, baby. Yeah. Hello. From the bottom, Big E is here. Kayla says you're in a good mood, and he's like, yes, ma'am. So, talking to Big E about his match tonight for the IC title. I could see Bayley Bianca inside Hell in a Cell. That would be good. When I walk... He says, when I walk out of this arena, I will leave in no doubt. I am the rightful discerning IC champ. He's pumped up, man. He can cut a good promo. I'm sure we'll probably... we've heard from Apollo. We've heard from Big E. I'm sure we'll hear from Sammy and Kevin, obviously, throughout the night. We're looking at Roman and Cesaro from WrestleMania Backlash. I gotta tell you, they're playing... Right, behind that video package, they just showed an image of Cesaro and Roman. The music playing behind that video package was Roman's old music, that dun-dun, dun. I don't know that was a botch earlier. Unless they botched playing it when Heyman came out, but they've also botched playing the exact same music behind that video package. I don't think it's a botch. I don't think they're... I'm just going to say, I don't think they're totally satisfied with that new theme. And maybe we've gone back to the old one for now while they make a few changes or something. We watch this for the same reason that people watch Mystery Science Theater 3000. All we're missing is 2 robot puppets to help you out like they have on that show. I have never seen Mystery Science Theater 3000, John. So I can't comment on that at all. Source told me that the new theme did not go over big, which is quite a surprise because it seemed to go over on Twitter. I gave it 6 out of 10. I like the choir. I said I like the choir at the start. Big feel. But then when it breaks down to the music bit and you go past that initial... Once you get past that initial choir and you just go to the music... Nah, sounds like a rubbish backing track to me. And then the choir comes back in. It sounds quite good. So I gave it 6 out of 10. If they would fix that bit that links the choir parts, like just the music bass, you could do something. You could have something then. So I hope they're just tweaking it, to be honest, because I don't think it was a disaster. And it was over on Twitter, by the looks of it. So that's interesting. I miss the dance breaks, says William. I liked Roman's old better than the new, says LD Cool. But J14 said I liked his new. Camvlog says the new theme was better. Brony says everyone loved the new theme from what I saw on Twitter. Mark Clark says I want more storyline and storytelling. I tell you something about Twitter, right? It's normally wrong. And I mean that in the sense of there's been so many times where I've seen Twitter shouting about something and it just doesn't go that way. You look at Twitter and people shouting on Twitter and you go, everyone is talking about this. Like everyone is just going crazy about whatever it is. But then there's a good few occasions that I can think of where things just haven't gone that way. Because even though Twitter can look like it's everyone, it's a very small portion of people. It's a very small portion of people that are on there. It's the vocal minority, in a way, that are on Twitter. I can't say that for everything, of course. But yeah, I really wouldn't be using Twitter for like the be all and end all. I wouldn't be using Twitter as like your primary, wow, this is over, or wow, this is, you know, because there's been a fair few examples where it just hasn't played out that way. And maybe this theme is another one of those. Ultimately, it comes down to Vince, doesn't it? It comes down to Vince. And if Vince has heard it and isn't sold... But you would think... I mean, you would think that he would have signed off on it before, like, they introduced it. If, like, Roman, that's had pretty much this... I know there's been a few changes to it, but pretty much the same theme from the start. If they're going to change it, you'd think that'd be huge and significant. And so, they would have got it right at first, but... Hey, Aleister Black's here. Tales of the Dark Father. I love these. Here we go. Chapter 4. Beautiful Pain. Oh, that's good. All the lessons are etched on his body. It is honest, it is true. Look at that, tattoos. So he's saying that his tattoos have meaning. That's cool. They're showing all his tattoos and the fact they all mean and represent something. Father always said. Could you imagine if we'd never seen him before? Could you imagine if this was the first time we were seeing Aleister Black? Could you imagine how excited people would be? The problem is we already know quite a bit about him because we've seen him in NXT. We've seen his false start on the main roster. We know that he's not booked very well. Obviously, we know that he's in a relationship with Zelina Vega, all of that. But could you imagine if this was the first time we were seeing him? You are sick. Dying animals. As father taught me. It's time to call the herd. It's getting time. Good, man. Yeah. Not really a story there. I really like the story that he told in the first one. That wasn't really a story, but I like the fact they're playing and tying in his tattoos. But man, if that was the first time we'd seen him, we'd all be like... losing our minds. Very good. Can't wait. I just... Please book him right. Please book him right. You've got something good there. Please book him right. Put Zelina Vega with him as well. Why not? Why not? We all know they're in a relationship. So why not just put them together? Everyone likes Zelina Vega. She's very relatable. Popular. Yeah, I suppose that's a problem though, innit? He's a heel. So you don't really want to put a popular, likeable person with him. But as a partnership, they could be huge. Keep thinking Zelina and Aleister versus Carrion and Scarlett. Keep thinking about that. Hey, there's Shinsuke driving around, wearing that crown. Drinking some coffee in the crown as well. You should see me in a crown. You should come out to that by Billie Eilish. TBF WWE does usually do debut return vignettes very well. It's the long-term story building after the debut that's awful. Yep. Oh, hello. Little promo. What's this? He picks up the crown very slowly. Alexa was popular. They made her into a heel. A real king drives a Ferrari? Is that true? Not some fat, shabby, cabby... What? Tonight I'm going to punish Shinsuke. This is raw stuff, innit? It's arguing over a flipping crown. Do you know what I mean? We saw Ricochet steal Sheamus's coat and hat, and now we're seeing Corbin complain that he's had his crown stole. It's like... Oh. This is raw stuff. I really like Shinsuke. Guitar. Oh, yeah! Eric Bergenhagen, or whatever he's called. Eric Bergenhagen. Is that his name? Bugenhagen. What are they calling him now? Rick Boog? He was also the Old Spice guy. If you've seen those Old Spice commercials. This is like Elias's older brother, isn't he? Okay, so they're putting him with Shinsuke. It's alright. Sounds a little out of tune. It could work. It could work. Could work. No, it doesn't sound very good though. It sounds out. It sounds like the string is out of tune. Seriously, says Harley. Everyone prays for the guitar. This show is badly missing Roman Reigns. Nakamura had better win. I love this, says Brony. This is awesome, says Basti. Guy had the greatest NXT debut and then was never seen again. Yeah, do you remember that? What was his gimmick? His gimmick was... It was when there was fans, and it was back at Full Sail, and he used to come out, and did he do air guitar? I think he used to do air guitar. I'm sure he used to come out and, like, rock out, right? But really go for it. Like, be down on his knees, bending over, center of the ring, like, really rocking out and everything. Like, the crowd would be, like, getting into it and everything. If you search for him on YouTube, you'll find some awesome videos of him at house shows where he's just proper got the crowd going. Like, he can really work a crowd. But he didn't have an actual guitar. I'm sure he was just doing air guitar. I'm sure that was his thing. He seemed really fun, man. He seemed really fun. So now, and then we didn't see him for the longest time, and he was the Old Spice dude in those commercials with R-Truth and Tozawa that they were running recently. And now he's here doing this. I'm torn on it. I'm on the fence on it. I'm not sure. I don't know that Shinsuke needs it. I don't think the entrance was played brilliantly. Sounded a touch out of tune at times. But he is entertaining. So, let's see. I'm looking forward for this show, says Mania Daniel. Jeremy says, pay Punk $3 million a year with total autonomy. It's the only way. Just bring people in like Bully Ray. It's as close to the Attitude Era as you can get. Raw is a dumpster fire. Roman bandwagon fans, the same ones who gave him go away heat. Nita Strauss was better. Oh yeah, way better. You're absolutely right, Chunky Boy. But she's obviously not going to be able to be on the road with them and go from show to show with them. So it feels like he's going to be her replacement and someone that's, on the books already. And he is fun. He is an entertainer. So I'm sort of torn. I love Rick Boogs. Is that his name? Rick Boogs. He used to be called Eric Bergenhagen or something like this. Right. Good vibrations, and this is what I'm saying, man. On the outside, Rick doing the same thing. It's like... Into the corner goes Shinsuke. I mean, he might... I'm so torn on it. I'm so torn. Because I really like Shinsuke, and I really think he should be, like, moving up the card, getting big feuds, getting opportunities at titles. So maybe this is what they think he needs to make him relatable. Maybe Rick could do his promos for him, play him down. I don't know what Rick's getting out of it. I'm like, I don't even know. Does Rick speak Japanese? Like, maybe you could have some fun with that. Maybe Rick doesn't. Could you imagine if Shinsuke says a load of stuff and Rick goes, So, he wants his own changing room. And he just starts coming out with random stuff that Shinsuke, hasn't even said. There's probably some potential here. Vape Ross Vape said, Max Payne and Van Hammer have a love child. Harley said, Days, the entrance was awesome. I think it's because your sound was down. You couldn't really hear it. Well, I heard the off notes. I definitely heard the off notes. But You've got something coming to you, he says. What's Rick getting out of it? A paycheck, says John. Fair point. Awful start. Roman old theme is back. Vince is definitely booking this show, says Andrus Hunter. Adrian said Rick is getting some cash, that's for sure, and massive exposure, of course. But no, I didn't mean that so much. What I meant was, why with Shinsuke? Is it a case that Shinsuke's come along and said, look, do you want to be my... how have they got together? In kayfabe, not in real life, in kayfabe. Did he reach out to Shinsuke? Did Shinsuke reach out to him? Does he speak Japanese? How did they communicate? What has Shinsuke promised him? Are they going to be tag partners in the future? Is Shinsuke training him? As he said, come in and just do my entrances? What is this relationship? What is... I can see Shinsuke's got someone there giving him support at ringside and playing his entrance. What's Rick getting out of it? Is it just come and play my entrance? Come and stand at ringside? Be on TV? I wonder what the kayfabe story side of it is. Because, of course, just being on SmackDown is great exposure. We always wanted Shinsuke to have a mouthpiece. This is it, Someone with him who's entertaining but doesn't overshadow him like Sammy did, says Moldy Spoon. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. I'm so torn. So torn. I can't make my mind up yet. I don't know. I haven't seen enough. But what I do know is that I really like the guy. I just don't know if putting him with Shinsuke is the right move. German by Corbin. 1, 2. 2 count. I'd like to believe that Shinsuke needs to have live entrance music in order to win, says Adrian. I'm happy seeing Corbin, honestly. I don't want to see him lose, says Austin. Ronald, shout out to you. Oh My Vince says, is it the UFC tomorrow? It absolutely is. Super excited. Should be a decent show. I think it's about 13 matches, unless I haven't seen today if any got cancelled. Shoulder up by Shinsuke. Frustration from Corbin. What Roman's old music? Because Heyman came out, not Roman. So he's playing it. Distraction. Oh, not a fan of that. Yeah, not a fan of that. Shinsuke doesn't need that. Distraction win for Shinsuke. It's that bit that do 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 do. It's just a bit clunky. That do 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 do. That bit he hasn't quite got. I don't think. Like he can do it, but it's just do 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 do. The other bit he can do all right. I kind of feel like you go, yeah, well, that's well done. Yeah, no, it's there or thereabouts. Do 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 do. Hey, that's a cool shirt. That is a really cool shirt. The old Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika. A match of that caliber needs to be advertised and built. He wants the Street Profits. Okay. 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 Ah! Now we've gone back to his new music. How bizarre. How bizarre. So, Paul Heyman came out to his old music. The video package had his old music. But now Roman's coming out to his new music. Okay. Right. Roman making his way out. Roman in a tracksuit. Looks like he's part of Imperium. Imperium Reigns making his way out with Jey Uso and Paul Heyman. Weird seeing him in a tracksuit. He said that he was going to be addressing Jimmy. Roman Reigns. Promo? Roman with the Universal Championship. Pyro, of course. So this will be what takes us from hour 1 into hour 2. So we've got 10 minutes. Probably going to go to a commercial break soon. And then we'll hear from Roman, and that's how we'll get from hour 1 into hour 2. Paul Heyman with the Universal Championship, holding it in the air. carrying it down to the ring. Head of the table only gets the new music, says Other Mother. Universal Champion Paul Heyman making his way down the ramp, says Sam. Show went quick. We're almost at the halftime score, says Adil. We are. We won't be doing it at the next commercial break, because I think that's coming up quite soon. Roman and Imperium sound like it could be the name of Motown singing groups. A singing group, yeah, Roman and the Imperium. Okay, Roman slowly making his way down to the ring. Looks at that Universal Championship. Roman is amazing. All hail the Tribal Chief, says Brony. James Chadwick says UFC starts at 10 p.m. Shout out to you, bud. Dun, 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 dun. Roman carrying WWE right now, says Taboy. I really want Volta versus Roman, says Nico Guy. Maybe they're using his old theme song for Family and Paul. It's really strange. Really strange. I mean, you would look at it and go, well, they must have botched it at the start. They must have botched it. Because she introduced Roman, and then his old music hit and whatever. But then, for that video package, they used his old music. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Paul Heyman and video packages or something. I don't know. Acknowledge him, says Harley. We are at commercial break. Shout out to the legit boss Born. Ultimate Warrior promo thing for the show. Yeah, looking forward to that. YT, you're trash, says Days. Did you know that this day Jinder won the WWE Championship 4 years ago? I didn't know that it was 4 years ago. No, that's crazy. Roman joins Imperium, then Volta turns on Roman, setting up a dream match, says Brian Coleman. Mark Clark says Corbin and Nia are terrible to watch. Austin says, acknowledge Roman as a sexy man. You can do that for me, Austin. Harley said, Days, it's great because Paul doesn't get to use Roman's theme. That's how controlling Roman is. It's a good point. It'd be really good if Heyman was to say that on Talking Smack, to be honest. If he was to come out and say, like, if they, why did you use his old theme? It's like, well, that is the Tribal Chief's theme, and the Tribal Chief felt that really it should only be him that carries that responsibility to walk out when it's played, and something along those lines. Yeah, that could be cool. EJ says, not a botch. Triple H business comes out to his Bow to the King theme. When he wrestles, it's time to play the game theme. Elite Air Gamer said, Jimmy versus Roman in Hell in a Cell. Johnny, shout out to you. Right, we are at commercial break. And as we said, when we go back, we'll be hearing from Roman, seeing what he's got to say. Jimmy wants a match with the Street Profits. He wants Usos versus Street Profits, but it could be that Roman has got other plans. Can't have Jimmy running around making his own matches. Who does he think he is? Do you think Roman should go after the WWE Championship? Could do, but it'll be difficult, wouldn't it? Because, I don't know. I don't know how you would book it, to be honest. I mean, I wish there was just one champion, but whilst they've got a brand split, they probably will want to keep 2 separate champions. Right, we've got Kevin Owens. We're just going backstage to him first. Usos versus Profits is a dream match for me, says Harley. Jimmy versus Roman. Hell in a Cell, I quit, says Cerebral Supercard. I just don't know. I don't know that I want it. I've seen it. I've seen him versus Jay, and I don't know that I want to go that way again. Kevin Owens promo. Yeah, Kevin Owens first. So we're just hearing from KO. He's always a great promo, isn't he? He says, when all is said and done, I intend on being your Intercontinental Champion. Right, we're going back to Roman in the ring. Tracksuit Roman. This is casual Roman, do you know what I mean? This is Funhouse. This is Funhouse, Dreamhouse Roman. God, what now? Progressive, what's this? Okay, so we're looking back at WrestleMania Backlash. We are going to get to a Roman promo at some point. Cena followed me on Twitter. Very cool. What do you think happened to Sasha Banks? Isn't she filming at the moment? I think she's filming more Mandalorian or something, isn't she? Acknowledge me as an amazing member of this community, says Hayden. Hayden, you've been acknowledged. William Hensey has acknowledged you as well, Hayden. Rated R Wrestling said this is awesome. Camvlog says Cesaro really gave him a run. Harley said this match was brilliant. Uh, 100 hours later, says William. Wrestler with Andy said, sign me up to buy one of those Roman tracksuits. Oh, listen. It'll be on WWE Shop right now. I've no doubt about that. If it's not on there now, it'll be on by the end of the show. Jay versus Jimmy. If Jimmy loses, he falls in line and has no choice other than to acknowledge Roman. That could be more. That could be more interesting. Both of the Usos going up against each other. I'd be more into that. I'd be more into that than having Roman do it. Yeah, Jimmy versus Jay. I'm more into that. Okay, so Seth beating up Cesaro after the match, and there's a smirk on the face of Roman. Hands in his pockets as well. Look at him, he gives no flips. He gives no flips. Hands in his pockets. Microphone. I believe myself to be a humble man. I take every opportunity I can to teach my sons about humility. I don't like to brag. So I'm going to take this opportunity to allow my special counsel to celebrate me. So there we go. Paul Heyman can do it for him. I don't like to brag, so my special counsel can do it. Paul Heyman's like, really? Can I? Oh. Oh. I have a moment here to acknowledge your tribal chief. Look at this. Scared the Fiend over to Monday Night Raw. And Roman's like... What's that Drake meme? You could replace Roman for that, couldn't you? Talking about how he stacked Edge and Daniel. Ah, oh, Roman. Too good. Too good. This is too good. I even like how Paul Heyman is awkwardly holding the Universal Championship. He's got it like... Why is he holding it so awkwardly? Talking about how he banished Daniel Bryan. Banished. He was banished. And he beat the most talented grappler as well. Didn't came in last minute. He's too good, says let him in. My tribal chief. It is a career highlight for me. Paul Heyman will do this in the future again. And Brock's music is going to hit. And we will all melt. We will all melt in sheer joy when that moment happens. We will literally not cope. When that moment happens, it's going to be like staring directly at the sun. We're gonna be in a whole mess. That was good. Bring me my cousin. Bring me my cousin. Hit Jimmy Uso music now, says Paul Heyman. No, that's not Jimmy Uso, is it? Cesaro coming out in a suit and a sling. You're not my cousin. You're not my cousin. Do you think there will be a big return when WWE are back on tour? Says Jill Ponio. I hope so. I think we've got to say that it's looking quite good for Summit. We haven't really had anything, have we? There's not really been any big returns. Hell in a Cell. You want to do this again? There's Seth. Seth attacks Cesaro. So Cesaro said, "Well, if you're man enough, will you defend that in Hell in a Cell?" But I don't think we're going to get that far because Seth has attacked. So Seth Rollins has attacked. Injure this clown, says Knobfreeze. Cesaro selling that injury. Forget that. Look at the shirt. The shirt jacket combo. Boo Seth Rollins. Cesaro. It's got a little graze on the side of his head. I think that's probably there anyway, but Seth coming back down. Launching himself at Cesaro. Nice. It's a decent little takedown. Curb stomp. Curb stomp by Seth. So we should be going to commercial break quite soon, but we're still no wiser, are we, in regards to Roman and Jimmy? I don't know where Roman went, actually. I don't know where Heyman went. Seth saying that he's sorry. Jumps over the top and goes right back. Another curb stomp. That reminds me of... was it Dr. Evil in Austin Powers? I remember Dr. Evil being like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And he's on Jerry Springer. And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And like all the security guards trying to hold him back. And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then he just like runs and goes after like this other person that was on the show. Reminded me of that. Seth was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then just ran and did another curb on Cesaro. Right, get in your half-time scores. Half-time scores. Half-time scores. Are you happy? Are you sad? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Burn that suit, says Real American. Roman is the best, says Steven. That face is going to be a meme. Cesaro's got sexy blue socks. Halftime scores, absolutely. 6.5, says McLean. Roman raised it to a 6, says Austin. Mark Clark says 4. Brandon says 9.55. We've got 7 by LD Cool. We got 6.5 from Random Gamer. We got 6.5 from Lone Star Friend. We got 4.25 from James. We got 5.5 from LeBron Fan 23. 6.5 from Cam Vlogs. Future Compilations with a 7. Halftime score 6. We've got 9.8 from Lebria. Just jumped. Cole Irwin, 6 out of 10. David Conley, 6.5. Lots of 6s here. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden with a 6. Ice Wallow says 4.5. Please don't fall for the name 2 weeks in a row. Let him in, 6. J14, 6.5. To Boy123 says 5. Rated R Wrestling says 825. Labria says 9.8. Robin 813 says 6.5. Randy says 6. Magic says 4.5. It's Yadil the Gamer says burn it. What else we got? 6.5 from Cavi. 6.75 from Zachary. 8.5 by Troy. You Only Live Once gives it a 7. Austin gives it a 6. 9.32 says Brandon. 7 says Sunny. 7 says Scott. 6 says It's Frenchy. Lots of 6s. Few 7s. Few 5s. But I'd say we're more in the 6s. 6.75 says Brony. 9 says DFW Saucy YT. Mortal Warzone says 6. Steven says 6. Hayden says 6. Harley says 6.75. I think there's a lot of 6s here. Lots of 6s. I'm buying that suit for you, Days, and Austin. I'm alright, thank you. Give Austin 2. Right, we are going back. That was the halftime scores. We've got a little WWE shop commercial. Jay says 6.5. It's an average show. Brian says 4.44 out of 10. Okay, so WWE shop advert right now. Don't know what we're going to. We've got 50 minutes left of the show. WWE shop, find what fits you. Did you guys see that new Smoking Skull Championship? No, not Smoking Skull. Winged Eagle. Beautiful belt. Beautiful belt. We looked at it in that video earlier. And I'm not saying it to get you to watch that video. I don't even care. Just have a look on WWE shop. It's beautiful. If you're a fan of the Winged Eagle, they have got a wonderful replica right now. Now we need to watch that beatdown that just lasted for 6 minutes. Now we've got to watch replays. You've got to be really arrogant or really stupid to go looking for Seth with your arm in a sling. L. Hicks says, can something new happen on this damn show? Something. Anything. Right, we're backstage with Seth. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. What is this? What is this? What's going on? Seth saying, why do you do this to me? He was saying, like, what happened? I blacked out. And then Cesaro went past. He went back to being angry again. Why do you do this to me? If you're going to be interviewed and you're going to say, what happened? I blacked out. Why would you moments later then grab Cesaro? Wouldn't you look at Cesaro and go, and just not remember it? Or just be like, I don't... It's a hot mess. That's what it is. It's a hot mess. Just like me. Why did medical staff just stop? Oh, you want to assault this guy? Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna watch WWF from the 80s. So, these are our new championes. I want Riot Squad, says Don. Johnny Gardner, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Right, we're just seeing how they won last week. I don't know if this is a promo. I don't know if this is a match. It's a rematch, is it? I don't remember that. When was that? They've just put in a little clip of Tuck. We just saw Tuck. Tuck and Mama Tuck. They never showed that last week. They just snuck that in, didn't they? Of Tuck and Mama Tuck. Right, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode. So this is a rematch, is it? No. No, it's Robert Roode. Ziggler's not in... So is this Dominic versus Robert Roode? It was on the bump. I don't watch the bump. What is it? Oh, that was from the bump. Right, got you. Okay. I thought you meant they had announced this match on the bump. You don't belong here, says Robert Roode. Dominic holds up the belt. Rather unconvincingly. Okay. Dominic, not quite with the charisma of The Rock. What move is better, the yes lock or the bank statement? both about the same, aren't they, really? I think it's more exciting when she puts the bank statement on, the way she applies it. Backstabber into the bank statement. I think that's better than the way Daniel puts on the yes lock. But I love that Seth thing backstage. He acted exactly like that last year, straight after injuring Mysterio's eye on Raw, but he was much calmer now. He's gotten more crazy. Dolph Ziggler in 2016 was good, says Jeremiah. Robert versus Dominic. Yep, that's what we've got right now. Robert versus Dominic. Dominic up top. Looking for a crossbody. 1, 2, 2 count. The belt's just chucked in the corner of the ring. What's this about? Horrible. Can we not put him on a plinth, or just chuck him in the corner of the ring? Could Ray not hold them, or could, you know, anything? Just literally anything. Days, the returning SmackDown crowd in Houston, Texas. Are we going to get Stone Cold? You could do. Honestly, I wouldn't really take anything off the table. The only thing I would say is that WrestleMania didn't give you that much, did it? And that was WrestleMania. Like, do you remember everyone thought, oh, here we go. Bayley running off her mouth. It's going to be Becky. You can look, but you can't touch. One, 2, 3. Dominic beats Robert Roode. I wonder if we're going to see a return of the WWE psychiatrist to try and help Seth with his issues. Did nothing. That win doesn't do anything. Right, we've got Jey Uso backstage. WWE need to leave Fox? Not sure, but I'd say Fox are one of the positive influences that they have. Okay, so Jimmy's made a tag match. Jay, not impressed. I'd rather have Street Profits as champions than the Mysterios, says Brony. I need to tell Roman about this tag match. Jimmy not impressed. Commercial break. Why are they pinning so many champions tonight? That's the second tag team champion pinned. No. Mysterio's tag champs, aren't they? I know it's so dull that it's hard to keep up with. I fully appreciate that. But no, Dominic getting the win there. Seth needs to bring back the pedigree, says Clay. William says Dom's outfit looks like Darth Vader taking a dump. Like where his pants are down and crinkled to his knees whilst he's taking a deuce. That is William Hence's words. WWE need to push Robert Roode. Big Boy Dally said, I've tweeted something to you. Do you know what? I'll have a look. I'm so bored with this show. I think this is an awful SmackDown. Just nothing here that I'm enjoying. Wow, apart from that Roman segment. But I wasn't feeling it when Cesaro came down. Nice. Big Boy Dally making the That Drake meme that we were talking about. I can't see what you can see right now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you've done that good. Nice. I've retweeted it. Fatal 4-Way main event in SmackDown is interesting. I can't see Apollo winning to end the show. Awful is kind of a strong word. I think it's just boring. I'm sticking with awful. By SmackDown standards, I'm saying awful. I think that this, to start off with I really didn't enjoy the opening segment. Then a 6-woman tag match. Then Dominic Mysterio versus Robert Roode. The Shinsuke thing was alright, but I mean, by SmackDown, this is so far below SmackDown standards. I mean, this might be passable for Raw. I don't know. But SmackDown, this is my favourite show of the week, and we've got 38 minutes left. That's it. 38 minutes left, and there's really, apart from like Paul Heyman doing a great promo with Roman, and you know, I can't say there's been anything. I'm still torn on that Eric Bergenhagen, Rick Boogs or whatever his name is. I'm still torn on him. I really like him, but I don't know if it works with Shinsuke, so need to see a little bit more of them together. But it's got potential. That's got potential. I really believe that Vince is at SmackDown this week. That's why it sucks. It feels like Vince is booking this show. Days, it's because of the first 30 minutes that the show's been awful. Yeah, you could be right. Right, there's Roman. Is it Jay? Jay. Jay's walked in. Jay's telling Roman that a tag match has been made. I'm the tribal chief. You're the right-hand man. I can't hear what he's saying. Everything we do represents our family. Oh, he's really quiet. I can't hear it. And I certainly can't hear that. He grabs Jay and he whispers something to him. He's acting like the Godfather, isn't he? So he's said something to Jay. There's the Street Profits. Dominic Roode match was 156 out of 200. Yeah, we got the Street Profits now. And they're taking the mick out of Jimmy and Jay. The only negative to the show was the start. Other than that, the Nakamura was decent. Aleister Black was good. Roman thing was brilliant. I love Seth attacking Cesaro. Graham said, Days, I always think with a brand split that it's hard to have a quality show all the time. The roster doesn't always throw up the opportunity for fresh matches, especially in the main event picture. Right, we got Sammy. Sammy's the last person for us to hear from. We've heard from the other three. Montez is a future superstar. He could be the next Rock, says Justin. Lone Star Friend says we don't want the smoke. Sammy, yeah. The green suit is cool, says William. This show is still 1,000 times better than Raw. It's definitely better than Raw. It's definitely better than Raw. I'm just saying that by SmackDown standards, by the fact that when everyone asks me what's your favourite show, I always say SmackDown. So by SmackDown standards, this is very disappointing. But should be a really good main event. Should be a really good main event. And make no mistake about it, the main event could rescue this. And Sammy's coming down, so we're going to this match now. Travels everywhere with his personal documentary crew that are nowhere to be seen. Right, Sami Zayn. So it looks like we're going to this then. So I would imagine that Roman... I don't know what the main event is. Street Profits and the Usos main event, I think. Owens versus Zayn versus Apollo versus Big E. There's an app in America where I can watch SmackDown. This could be a great match. Yep, could be a great match. No denying that. Is Fiend going to SmackDown? I haven't heard any reports like that. I mean, I suppose there's a chance he could because Alexa's doing something very similar on Raw. And they're not going to have a match. I can't see Alexa and Fiend having a match. So, he didn't seem that bothered by her. Like, when he said it's time for Season 2, time for new friends, maybe new puppets, new adventures, all this kind of stuff, didn't seem like he was that bothered by Alexa. Because, obviously, when we watched that Firefly Funhouse, we expected him to kind of address her and say something about her. So, yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if one of them did go to SmackDown. This is going to be a great main event match, says Hayden. Graham said, when is the draft due to take place? They could do with a bit of a fresh prospect. It always tends to be near the end of the year, doesn't it? October time, something like that. So, not for a while, unfortunately. They could always just drop one in. But, I don't think there's one. I don't think there's one due, to be honest. I think they've probably still got some stories they want to tell, like maybe Big E going for that championship. They could always keep him on if they did do a draft, of course. Keep him on SmackDown, but I can't see there being one anytime soon. I haven't heard any rumours of one. Clunky Boy Harrison says, I know it probably won't happen, but I would like the Messiah Seth versus The Fiend. What pay-per-view would you like to see WWE bring back? The first one that comes to mind, it might not be the best answer, is King of the Ring. Because I really think if they did, like, everyone is in King of the Ring. And you do knockout tournament, when I say everyone, I mean everyone. Except for maybe the champions, yeah? Except for Bobby and Roman, everyone else is in. And the winner gets not only, to be called king, but title opportunity as well. So, whole tournament, NXT is involved. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. Like, Johnny Gargano does well, and all of a sudden he's having to go to Raw to face some of the Raw stars. Like, it's NXT versus Raw. Like, who's going to go through in this match to the next round? And we keep being shown the brackets, and it could be awesome. Not just like, here's 16 people, let's try and get it down to 4, and then we'll do a tournament. We'll do a pay-per-view. Like, everyone is in it. Matches on 205 Live, NXT UK, NXT, Raw, SmackDown. I'd do it. Everyone's in it. And then you get down to, like, I don't know, whatever, final 8, something like that. Do a pay-per-view. And could be class, man. There could be better examples than that, but I would love that. I think it would really bring so much to all the shows as well. And I love the idea that, like, Volta does amazing, and like, you know, Volta gets through to the pay-per-view. Imagine that. It'd be so good. If we had a Roman promo to open the show, this would have been better. It's crazy how simple stuff can change the show, says Brony. Did you notice that Fiend theme was playing during the Seth and Roman highlights? No, it was Roman's theme was playing during Roman's highlights, weren't they? That dun dun dun. I don't think they did have the Fiend's theme playing then, because we were talking about how it was Roman's old music. We got Sammy, we got Kevin. Are we waiting for the others to come down? 2 of the 4 men, yeah. Okay, here comes Big E. Yeah, so Big E making his way down. We got 28 minutes to go. He split from Kofi and Xavier in the 2020 draft. Nat E, Tamina, please retain. Who do you think will win this Fatal 4-Way? I'm probably leaning towards Apollo retaining, to be honest. SmackDown always has something to look forward to each week. Usos having a match for the first time in over a year against the Street Profits is a dream match of mine, says Harley. Apollo coming out with Commander Aziz. Right, making his way down. I think we got the old 4K camera on the go. What superstar would you like to come out of retirement? Shawn Michaels or Mick Foley? Neither. I mean, Foley can't go anymore. I don't know where Shawn is. If I had to choose between the two, I'd say Shawn, but I'm not sure Shawn can go anymore. He might be all right. It might be all right. I don't know. I mean, you can just see by looking at him that he's aged. Do you know what I mean? I think he's sort of just let himself go a bit now. But he's still in relatively good shape. But you ain't getting WrestleMania 25, 26, Shawn, are you? That is now WrestleMania 25 is what, 12 years ago now? 12 years ago. That's scary, man. Right, we've got these 4 ready to go. Commander Aziz on the outside. The bell sounds and we are underway. A proper King of the Ring should happen before Survivor Series. It could help build feuds between the brands. That's interesting, Going Ghost. That's a good point. Already going for Sammy, says Nobfreeze. Number 1 trend in the United States is SmackDown. Kick to the side of the head by Apollo. Against the ropes goes Apollo, jumps over Big E. Back elbow by Big E to Apollo. Kevin Owens jumps into the ring, duck underneath. Inverted atomic drop Step up Enziguri. Big E goes down. Sami Zayn jumps in, pounding away on Kevin Owens. Would Randy RKO Lashley and ask for a title match? Could do. I don't know that we're going to go that way, because obviously RK Bro are a thing at the moment, so I'm not sure we're going to go that way. The women should have a queen of the ring, says William. That would be good. Do you think Shayna should turn face? That could be good. Yeah, Shayna could turn face. She tends to be a natural heel, but it could be quite interesting if she was a face. Strikes from Big E. I definitely would look to get her out of that tag team with Nia. I know that much. Jeremy says, I think you will see Rollins and Reigns intertwine their stories more and more. Poor, rude NXT champ, world champ, many-time tag champ in a place where tag teams meant something. Big E with a splash on Apollo and Sammy. Kevin going against the ropes. Kevin Owens over the top. Crashes down on Big E. This is my ring. Double splash. KO went so fast, says Knob Freeze. Imagine Kevin as Intercontinental Champion, says K. Tom Basco. Yeah, we are back at commercial break again. 23 minutes to go. I'm not sure. I don't know. This is our main event. Like, I think it might be our last match. I don't know when we're getting Usos, and is that next week? I don't know. Could be later tonight. I genuinely don't know. So yeah, I don't know how long they're going to give this match. Is this the main event, Asproni? I'm not 100%. WrestleMania 25 doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but in 8 years, that show will be 20 years old. I think that I suck at maths. No, yeah, it would be. Yeah, 12. I can't believe 12 years ago for that match. 12 years. I mean, it's been 7 years since Yeselmania and Daniel and all of that, and the end of. It's been 7 years since the end of the streak. It is just it flies, doesn't it? Days, how would you book Bray's career currently? Eater of Worlds return? I don't know. I mean, like, people like the reading into stuff. They love the whole fan theory thing, and I would continue with that because it's working. I would just take this. I honestly would just take the supernatural stuff out, and that's it. I'd take the supernatural stuff out, improve his booking so he didn't lose, and use that as a starting point. I mean, he's clearly connected, so you wouldn't need or have to change all that much because he's, it's connected with people. It's worked on that sense. I missed the Undertaker and Kane. I hope they return. I'm waiting for Reigns and Rollins at SummerSlam, says Nick07. Dino Plays says hello. Hello. What move is better, RKO or Stunner? Both very good, aren't they? Can hit them out of nowhere. Both get big pops. I think maybe... I feel like RKO, to be honest. I feel like the RKO. I can't imagine a world without the Stunner. I can't, but just RKO is just... It's been around for so long. And there's been some great moments where he's hit him out of nowhere. So, go RKO, and that might be a bit controversial. I don't know. This Monday. How will Bobby respond to Drew and Kofi? Right, forearm strikes by Big E. Big E going against the ropes. Drop kick by Apollo. I blocked Fox 13 for making SmackDown come on last in Utah. I want to watch it live. Okay, so we've got Kevin down. We got Big E down. We got Apollo on the outside. Don't know where Sammy is. Commander Aziz just coming round, checking on Apollo. Apollo smashes Kevin's face into the ring steps. Apollo screams. Nice. Standing moonsault. I've got a feeling Undertaker will never fully retire until he loses a third time at Mania. Straight to the midsection by Apollo on Sammy. Hurls Sammy into the other barricade. Sammy with a moonsault off the barricade. Big clothesline by Kevin. Throws Sammy back into the ring. Owens up top. Swanton by Owens. Big E jumps in. Makes the save. These two trading shots back and forth. Is this Apollo Crews' best or most over gimmick? Thoughts? Well, it's definitely his most over. I'd say it's his best out other than the accent. Apollo picks up Big E, dumps him onto that top rope. Looking for a German. Apollo with a German on Big E. Keeps a hold of him as well. I tell you what I do love about Apollo. The thing that I think is the best is his ring attire. I think his ring attire is so crisp. I think he's got great ring attire. Sent on by Owens. Makes the save as Apollo was going for the pin. Could Fiend go to SmackDown? He could do. Explode a suplex into the corner. Kevin Owens is going to win, says Kingslayer. Roll up by Sammy. Kick out by Kevin. Kick to the midsection by Sammy. Scoops up Kevin. Driver. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Owens. So, Sammy hitting that Michinoku driver, but only getting a 2. Haluva missed, says Nobfreeze. The fake crowd noise is driving me crazy, says Heather. Owens in the corner. Big strike by Sammy. We've got 16 minutes left to go. So we are coming up to another commercial break quite soon. Sammy, he's been grabbed by Owens. Look at that. Brainbuster 1, 2. The best RKO is the one against Seth at WrestleMania 31. LSW said this is Apollo's best gimmick because he hasn't really had a proper gimmick before this, which is a good point. Apollo on the outside, kicked to the midsection by Owens. Owens on the shoulders. Death Valley Driver, was that? Against the ropes goes Big E. And that's going to take us to the commercial break. Spear. everywhere has fans now except WWE. Well, they are going on the road soon. Nobfree says this is great. Amazing, says Slucky. Apollo needs to change his name to something more Nigerian to fully embrace his heritage. McClaim said this is a banger. Harley said this is a great match. Mark Clark said this is what I call wrestling. Capsman said that was cool. Mohammed asks, is this the main event? No, I think so. Going Ghost said, who are two wrestlers that never faced each other that you have always wanted to see them have a match in their prime? Undertaker Sting is the first one that comes to mind. Undertaker versus Sting. I think they might have faced each other in WCW, but not obviously as Undertaker and Sting. So, yeah, that was the match I always wanted, and obviously we'll never get. DM'd you on Twitter about SummerSlam, says Bert Spark. I'll have a little look. Did you? When did you send that, bud? I haven't got one. I haven't got a DM. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, says it's Yadel the Gamer. Right. 13 minutes. I want to see an hour of this match. These guys are killing each other. Not that I like seeing people kill each other. Robert said Fiend versus Brock. Sting versus Mean Mark Callis did happen in WCW. Surfer Sting and Mark Callis had a match in WCW, says Real American. Days I saw on Twitter that Triple H and Rey Mysterio have never had a one-on-one match. That's interesting. Do you rank Roman as being in a top 5 heels of all time? I think it might be a bit early to say that, to be honest. Because you've got to have Vince in there. And top 5 of all time. I mean, that's a lot of people. So, he could be in the conversation, in all fairness. He is the biggest thing right now, and his heel turn has been such an incredible success, but he's only been heel since SummerSlam last year, so I'd probably have to say no, but I really want to say yes, because I think, you know, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, really, and then I think he will be a top 5 of all time. But I think Vince is number 1, isn't he? Days, do you think that Seth will bring back his old gimmick? I have no idea. I hope so. I do miss Monday Night Rollins is always my favourite. Architect was quite good when he was with Triple H and he had J&J Security. I enjoyed that. But not a fan of the Messiah. Big strikes by Apollo. So Apollo with big shots on Big E. Belly to belly. Nice bite, Big E. Grabs Sammy. Belly to belly to Sammy. Apollo comes over. Nothing. Belly to belly. So Big E against the ropes. Into a big boot from Sammy into a haluva. Kevin jumps in. Throws Sammy against the ropes, looking for a pop-up powerbomb. Sammy over the top, duck underneath. He's looking for a Snapdragon. Pump handle. Oh, into a shoulder breaker. But only gets a 2. I bet Peacock wanted WWE to change pay-per-view dates. Hayden says, I loved J&J Security. Days, the match that never happened that I always wanted to see was Bork Flazer versus the Boulder. Heather says Big E is going to win this thing, isn't he? Are you going to watch SmackDown next Friday or AEW? Because both are on Friday. I think they're at different times, are they? Are they at different times? I mean, I don't know. Is it just a preview thing? Because 100% we're watching SmackDown. But I just don't know whether I'll be watching that AEW thing at the same time. If it's just a preview of Double or Nothing, I'm not bothered. We've been watching AEW, so I don't really need to see a preview thing. Or is it Dynamite moving for a week? Because I know that's coming up as well, isn't it? If it's Dynamite moving for a week, we'll do both. If it's just a preview of Double or Nothing. Do you think Alexa ruined the Fiend gimmick? No, I think that, personally, I think the Fiend ruined the Fiend gimmick because I wasn't into the supernatural thing, and so I can't really blame Alexa for that. But she continued to push it whilst he was away, and I'd much prefer Alexa before she was doing this. But I think there's people out there that are into the Lily thing. Cannonball by Kevin Owens into Big E and Apollo. Can I just say, this match is good, but it's not really grabbing me. Shoulder up by Owens. It's another one of these 100 miles an hour, let's get every move we can get into a match kind of a match. It's not a match that's like really grabbing me all that much. I can see there's lots of great moves that are being performed. And it's all being done at a very fast pace, but this is not Roman Cesaro. This is not Serena Deeb. This is not Tony Storm, Zoe Stark. Like, this is just a million miles an hour. But it's not bad. It's good. And obviously it's for the title as well. And so it means something. It matters. And it's been given plenty of time. But I'm certainly not watching it, sitting here thinking, wow, this is 5 stars. Kick out by Apollo. Theme matches have been trash since Goldberg beat him, says Mohammed. Have you ever been in the Thunderdome? I haven't, no. I haven't. William said it's better than Raw. 100%. 100%. Into the barricade goes Owens. What do you like better? Roman Cesaro or Seth Cesaro? Maybe Roman Cesaro. Seth Cesaro was good, but I don't think it was the best thing at WrestleMania. But I do think that Roman Cesaro was the best thing at WrestleMania Backlash. Who do you want to win? Big E is dragged out of the ring by Commander Aziz. I don't want Big E to win, and it looks like he's not going to because Commander Aziz has grabbed him. But Big E reverses, and it's Commander Aziz that goes into that ring post. 5 minutes left, so this is our main event. We've got smoke. It's Aleister Black. Aleister Black has come out. That's interesting. That's interesting. Aleister Black has come into the ring. Hits Black Mass on Big E. The only problem is he's gone after Big E, and Aleister's got to win that feud. Apollo Crews retains. Aleister Black has got to win that feud. Hasn't he? He's got to win that feud. Well, there we go. Apollo retains the title. Oh, that's not the person I wanted Aleister Black going after, because Big E is someone I want going for the title, so he's got to keep his momentum going. But you can't have Aleister Black lose this feud. He's got a contact lens in as well. I think he's got a contact lens in. Well, there we go. Done. Apollo retains. Apollo retains. Alright, stop that. Okay, get in your full-time scores. What did you think of the show? You've got to give this a good score. I don't. I really don't have to give it a good score because I don't think there was much here, to be honest. That main event did not grab me in the slightest. I was not on the edge of my seat. I was not losing my mind. If any, I was bored. I was sitting here and I was bored. If you're going to give me a match that's going to be 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's not really going to grab me, and it's not going to... I hate them matches. Them matches that I've said before, matches that just go 1,000,000 miles an hour. Move. Just they don't do it for me. I like to have like change in speed and, you know, take a bit of time to come into it, get a bit of psychology in there. I understand with a fatal 4-way, you're not gonna always have that because, you know, there's always something happening. It's kind of with like an 8-man ladder match. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to have a slow pace in an 8-man ladder match. So, you know, that's you got, it's part and parcel of a fatal 4-way. So I thought the match was fine, good. Probably the best match on the show, of course, but no, I'm not going to lie to you guys and make out that that's a 5-star classic or anything like this. I'm not even going to tell you that's 4 stars. Didn't do it for me, but if it did it for you, brilliant. 8.5 says Magic. 5 out of 10 leg slaps says Divides. 0.75, the ending was horrible. Raw was better, says Going Ghost. Jay says 6.75. Magic says 8.5. Austin says 6.5. Brony said it's a fatal 4-way, so what do you expect? It's exactly the point that I made. Kingslayer says 8. 6.5 says J14. 6 says Bonkers. Salary says 8.5. David Robert Wood says 6.6. Can't tell you guys, look at these scores. Do you know what I mean? These scores aren't like 8s and 9s and all stuff like this. At halftime, we were around like 6s. And we're still kind of there looking at this. We've got a lot of 6s. We've got a few 7s. Got a few 8s in theirs as well, in all fairness. 6.5 from Jordan. 7.5 from Camvlogs. 8 from Kingslayer. 6.5 from Austin. It's Frenchie says 6.5. It's Yadil says 8.85. Corey K says 5.75. Sally says I've changed it to a 6.75. Brony says 7.75. Tar Heel says they had 20 minutes. They should have slowed it down. Told a better story. Old School says 7.75. It's Malik says they kind of ruined Black already, but let's see how it goes. 7.75 says Brony. 5 says Tar Heel. Not the best show, says Cam Vlogs. 5.5 says Ricky. 7.5 says Dark Gaming. Ronald says 7. 7.25 says Darnell. 5 out of 10 says Ethan. 7.25 says Desmond. 6.5 says Hayden. 7, I'm not a big fan of Aleister Black, says Maximi. Is no one excited for Aleister? I'm excited for Aleister. I'm excited for Aleister. I really like his vignettes. I'm just worried about him attacking Big E. I just, you know what I mean? I don't want either to lose that feud. So that's my only concern there. But yeah, I'm excited to see him. Maybe Black wants the IC title, says JB17 plays. 7.25, I lowered my score a little, says Brony. Hey, listen, go with what you think it is. If you watched that, only you know how you felt about the show. If that's an 8 out of 10 for you on your scale, then that's an 8 out of 10. If that is a 8.5 on your scale, that's an 8.5 on your scale. I mean, if you really, really enjoyed that show, that's a brilliant thing. That is my favourite wrestling show of the week, so if people have enjoyed it, that's great. Rihanna says it wasn't that bad. J14 said, I've grown up, I've left the family. There's new family members. 10 out of 10, Capsman. 5 out of 10 says Vonti. Slocky said Daisy should have gone for Kevin because the last feud before he disappeared was with Kevin. That's interesting. Hasib said 5. Nothing happened other than Aleister. Ricky says 6. I hope they don't ruin him, says Cam Vlogs. John Games said 6. No Riot Squad. Nico Guy says not the best I've seen, but I have seen way worse. That's very fair. Should have put Black in the middle of the match. Took Big E out of the match and then allowed the match to carry on. William, because the beat was a C. 6.5 says LSW. Atrocious. Just kidding, it wasn't atrocious. I just like the word. Major said SummerSlam is going to be a wake-up call for WWE. Imagine Drew versus Jinder. John said that was like watching 2/3 of a typical bad Raw episode. It was underwhelming. Pro Skills says 7.25. James Chadwick says 7.5. Harley said days for me 7.25. Aleister versus E feud is perfect. It's obvious the title isn't going off Roman yet, so need to keep E out of Roman's way and maybe draft him to Raw and he can win the world title there. Who won the IC match? It was Apollo. What is your score? I looked and I gave Raw 5.5. This is better than Raw. So we're already above 5.5. So if anyone thinks I'm going really low, we're not doing that, right? This is, in fact, I might have even changed my score to 5. Think about it. I think I started at 5.5 and then I buckled to peer pressure. So I think I might have gone down to a 5. I'm thinking, right, let's think. The start of the show was awful. I really hated it. The first half an hour is bad. Like, I didn't enjoy it. So, straight away, we're like, 2. Yeah, 2. I mean, I just didn't enjoy it. It was just awful. So, the Shayna thing, the Sonya thing, the champions looking like idiots on the entrance ramp, going into a 6-woman tag. Horrible. Then we got, I don't know, we got an Aleister Black thing that was all right, so might have pushed the score up a touch. The Shinsuke thing is, I mean, it's a feud over a crown, which just doesn't do it for me. The match was relatively short. The only interesting point there is this Rick Boogs, and the jury's out on that, so we can say it pushes up the score a little, but not much. The Roman promo is the best thing here, like Roman and Paul Heyman, but I thought Cesaro coming down and the Seth attack and everything, it did go on for a while, and I'm not really feeling the Seth stuff. I haven't felt the Seth stuff since he started it. I wasn't feeling it last year. I'm still not feeling it now, so it's just not for me. I'm not looking at that, enjoying that Seth Cesaro thing, so maybe some of you out there are and your score goes up as a result. For me, I'm just going to say it doesn't really do anything to the score. So there was a lot of 6s around the halfway point. I've got to tell you, I was lower. There wasn't anything that was getting me to a 6 at that halfway point. And then in this second hour, like half of it has been took up by that final match. I haven't lost my mind over that final match. It's 100 miles an hour. It's a fatal 4-way thing. It's perfectly fine. I mean, it's fine. It's serviceable. It's fine. But I can't go over a 6, to be honest. I feel like I'm being a bit generous at a 6. I think that by SmackDown standards, this is poor. I think by SmackDown standards, this is poor. I said it was atrocious or something. But that main event match, you know, it had its moments. We had the Aleister Black thing. We had the Roman Reigns thing. I'll go with a 6. And I think I'm being kind. But this is definitely better than... I'll tell you my thoughts. My thoughts are that my initial reaction to Raw was 5.5. My initial reaction to this show is that this is better. So around a 6 feels fair. So that's where I'm at with this. I think this is one of the weaker SmackDowns that I've seen. But hey ho, we move on. We move forward, and we'll see what next week brings. Okay, let's go down and get the final thoughts, and then we're off. I wanted to switch the channel at some points. Austin says we got the same score again. I always call him sexy. Okay. From now on, you have to give Raw a fair score, not a biased score. I feel like you give Raw a higher score for no reason when Raw was only good thing is 3 hours is RK Bro. It's so difficult because I kind of feel that Raw... It's difficult though, because when you watch like a really bad show week after week after week, and then it just gets a little better, you're gonna go, do you know what, this week was actually better? And so as a result, rather than it going from like a 2 to a 3, you might go, do you know what, yeah, this is more like a 5. This is, do you know what I mean, this is a bit better. More of this, please. So it's hard to... Like, I don't want to be giving, like, 2s and 3s and things like this. I don't want to be going that low. And in all fairness, I still have to bear in mind that things could get drastically a lot worse. So I do have to bear in mind that, you know, things can get horrific. So we still have to have room either way on the scale. I don't like going up to 10. Really ever, because I always feel like there's something that can be made better. But equally, I don't like going down to 2 and 1, because I always think there's always something that can be made drastically worse. So as a result, we do tend to float around the kind of 3 to 8.5 range. But if something is exceptionally bad, I would go lower. And if something was exceptionally good, I would go higher. But yeah, we do tend to float around that kind of range. But no, I think this is it's a fair score because it's my honest score. And yeah, we'll see what next week brings. What is the best show of the week for you? Maybe NXT. Thought NXT was good. Really enjoyed Zoe Stark, Toni Storm. Thought the cage match was good. Cameron Grimes and the Ted DiBiase stuff. Seeing Ted DiBiase actually there was a lot of fun. And obviously, Alexander Wolf being kicked out of Imperium felt significant, and then he went and lost his job. So maybe NXT just pips AEW. Then you've got SmackDown, and then you've got Raw. So maybe NXT this week. My match of the week, without a shadow of a doubt, I don't even need to think about it. Serena Deeb versus Red Velvet. Serena Deeb versus Red Velvet is the match of the week for me. I love Serena Deeb. It's just something special, man. Something so special. Do you know what she is? She's a wrestler. Serena Deeb is a wrestler who can put on great wrestling matches. I can't remember the last promo that I heard of her. I can't remember the last segment that she was in. But do you know what she does? She walks out. She steals the show. She is everything that I love about wrestling. I would like some character, I suppose. Some character work eventually. But she just keeps it simple. Don't see promos. Don't see behind the scenes. Don't see character development. She just walks out. Steals the show. I'll see you next week. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. So I'm in love with Serena Deeb. She is just killing it in AEW. And Zoe Stark. That move by Toni Storm and Zoe Stark on Tuesday. Wow. What a that's the move of the week. Is the ending to the Zoe Stark Toni Storm match on NXT. Match of the week. Red Velvet and Serena Deeb. Absolutely brilliant. So AEW, NXT, right up there. SmackDown, not having a great week for me this week. And Raw, obviously, supporting all the other shows. The foundation right at the bottom, as it is every single week. So that's how I see it this week. Harry Richards said, my match of the week was Zoe and Tony. That was a brilliant match. I can see Stark and Storm eventually being NXT Women's Champions. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I love that match. I'd say that's a close second for me. So I love that match as well. Yep. Just yes, I can see them being Women's Champions. Jim Gore said, I find it interesting that Serena Deeb has not been on NWA Power. That is interesting, considering she is the NWA Women's Champion. Days, can you start analysing Raw like you just did with SmackDown? I guarantee you'll have nothing or maybe one thing that you enjoyed from Raw. Well, I do try to do that during the shows, so I do try to do that at the end, so I still stand by my scores. I mean, I have no reason to inflate the Raw score or inflate any scores, so they're all honest opinions. So I do try to break them down at the end. Is 3 hours too much for Raw? I certainly think so. XFL says Raw is better than AEW. Hi, welcome to Alana's Burgers. How may I help you? Says Apollo's Commander guy sounds like a sneeze. This is Commander Sneeze. Austin said, Days, with all these losses that Big E keeps taking, and most likely losses against Aleister, do you think he'll still be the one to beat Roman? Well, I don't mind him losing the matches against Apollo, because that's kind of him saying goodbye to the mid-card title. And losing to Apollo's, that's fine. I mean, back in the day, you would lose to someone like Apollo, and then fast forward a few years, you'd be meeting him again in the main event scene. So it was, kind of interesting to see Aleister attack him. It's not the way that I would go. I don't want to see him lose a feud to Aleister, because I don't see what purpose that serves. I mean, he's got to beat Aleister if he's gonna go on to face Roman. If you can't beat Aleister, you're not beating Roman. And if Aleister beats Big E, then why is Big E going on to face for the title? That doesn't really make much sense. Big E loses to Aleister, but yet he's the one that gets the title shot. That's not going to really build excitement. I mean, what you want to do is build Big E up as being the guy. But maybe we're just nowhere near Big E getting that opportunity. So he could lose to Aleister, and perhaps they are just... I mean, maybe they're not taking that title off Roman this year. I don't know. I wanted Big E to be the one. But I don't know now. I don't know what's going to happen. This is not the feud I would have booked. It's not the feud I would have booked at all. Of all the people they could have had Aleister go after, they've gone after the one person that I really think he shouldn't have gone after. Could have gone after anyone. He could have gone after Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was in the main event scene earlier. If he feuds with Aleister, he can take that L. He could have feuded with Cesaro. Cesaro's just been in the main event scene. He could take that L. Like, there's baby faces he could have feuded with, but he's gone after Big E. It just doesn't make much sense to me, so it's a great question. I don't know where we go from here. I wasn't expecting it. Joaquin said, Raw is a good thing. It makes other shows look great. Roman Reigns is going to keep the belt till 2023. I mean, I love long title reigns, so I suppose can't really complain, you know? I love long title reigns, so if he is going to keep the belt for a long time, then, you know, so be it. I'm trying to see how you heard Fiend music when Seth came out. I didn't. He isn't going to beat Roman. Roman Reigns is the best, says Pokemon WWE. Let's come down. Aleister should have come in for Sammy and have Sammy take the pin, then start there. Hi, welcome to Alana's Burgers. How may I help you? Says, I hate Big E. I'm happy that Aleister needs to win this feud. What if Roman breaks Bruno's record? Wow! Could you imagine that? Yeah, which, for those of you who don't know, was, I think, just over 7 years. I want Fiend Roman at the main event of WrestleMania 38, says Austin. Roman is going for the title record. I think we're about done. Boom. SmackDown should be built around Roman every week when it's not the show lacks something and apparently results in people hating the show. What's your early predictions for Cross Balor? I'm going for Cross. Yeah, same. I don't think they'd put the belt back on Finn yet. Volta is almost at 1,000 days with the title. That's good, innit? I think Kevin Owens should have been Intercontinental Champion, says Daniel. Sniper said the person that is going to beat Roman is Brock. That makes sense. Be such a great moment when he comes back. Who won the IC title match? It was Apollo. Apollo won. Austin, shout out to you. Yes, we are almost done. I'm just getting these few final thoughts. Hype Man said next the Usos are wrestling and I'm excited. Maybe Big E wins the Rumble and takes the title from Roman at WrestleMania. Maybe Big E wins the Rumble, takes the title from Roman at WrestleMania. That could happen. That could happen. I love the old school way of you just really build up the heel, you really build up the face, and then you just smash them together. I love that. And if we were going to do that, I mean, Roman's on a hell of a run. So you sort of need a face right now that you build up. You sort of need a face. And there isn't really anyone out there. There's not really a face that's unstoppable. Where's the unstoppable baby face? Where is the unstoppable babyface? Where is the person that's going to stop Roman? Because I'd love to sit here and go, wow. You know, could you imagine when Big E finally gets Roman? But if he's going to lose that feud to Aleister, it's going to dampen down that enthusiasm a little bit. So it's a very strange decision, but hopefully they've got something in mind. Hopefully it doesn't result in Aleister getting buried. But I don't want to pot a Big E getting buried either, to be honest. Butterspark says, a show should not be about one person. You would then be choosing one person over hundreds that are on the roster. Big E should have been that unstoppable babyface. How will you do your streams once AEW moves? Yeah, we'd watch it straight after. The AEW Rampage, we'll just switch it over. Those kids act dumb, said wrestling is dead. The writers don't care. The boys don't care. Vince don't care. I only collect Mattel figures now. Going Ghost said the new zombie movie with Batista is on Netflix. Army of Dead. It was good. Check it out if you can. Shout out to you, Going Ghost. Why would Big E beat Roman? Not even a year ago, that man was stuffing pancakes in his pants. Yeah, but he's always been this fun character that would do those things, but he could always do it in the ring. I mean, look at the size of him. For so long, we've looked at him and wondered, when will he get his world championship run? I mean, I don't even know that I've ever questioned it. I don't know that I've ever looked at Big E and thought to myself, well, he'll never be champ. I've always just sort of took it for granted that, well, he definitely will be one day. I mean, he's fun. He is great promo. I mean, we saw that tonight. He can put on great matches. He's relatable. Great size to him as well. I mean, he looks like a champion. So you kind of look at it all and it sort of just makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, don't know. Just surprised. Not the way I would have gone, but hey, let's see what they've got in store. They might have something amazing. What do you think if Cena beats Roman? I'd be disappointed with that. I don't think Cena needs that. I think they should do the match, but I don't want Cena to win it. I really think whoever beats Roman's going to get a big push. Big, big push. Imagine Roman taking the pin. Roman losing. Being submitted or losing. Clean. I mean, it's going to be huge. Roman, all of a sudden, the tribal chief, the man that just, beats everyone, gets beat. There's someone out there that can beat the tribal chief clean. That's big. That's huge. So, yeah, I think Big E should have been that person, and maybe still will be. I don't know, but I don't think Cena. He's gone, isn't he? He'll be a big name for Roman to beat, but I don't think he should beat Roman. Do you think Roman's opponent for SummerSlam? I'm saying face Seth or returning Brock. Edge. I'll probably go with Edge. I'm not sure they'll turn Seth face. I mean, they've teased it, but I don't know that they'll do it. And if they do it, I don't know that it'll be yet. Brock, there's no guarantees he's coming back. If he does come back for SummerSlam, what a match that will be. I would love it. That would either Brock or Cena would be fantastic for SummerSlam. But probability says to me probably Edge. What about Drew beating Roman? Yeah, we did touch on it. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Definitely. It's not the way I would personally go, but if it happened, then fine. I get it. he might be the person that should beat Roman. He might be that person that should be the one, but I would still go Big E. Right, there we go. We're done anyway. Boom. Thank you so much for watching. We stuck around for a little bit after just to get those few final thoughts in. We are back tomorrow for UFC. I don't know what we're doing on Sunday, but we are back tomorrow. Of course, we're around for Raw next week as well, and SmackDown, and so on. The streams go on. So if you're not subscribed, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss any future streams. Big thank you to everyone that joined us and shared their thoughts and opinions. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.